Random. Whatever you want to talk about. That's the nice thing about random discussion. Yeah, spirituality. Good topic. I have not. I have not yet ventured into Gnostic readings. I have the Apocrypha. I started reading the Book of Enoch. This is my second time reading the Book of Enoch. It's a good read. I have to start reading the other ones, though. The Anyo store free. It's in the Anyo store. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I think we can both agree with that statement. Pedro, did I just see you roll on through? What's going on there, buddy? Nice to see some old faces. Good, brother, good. I've been catching your videos now and then, man. You always got little gems. Yeah, Captain, so I want to add on to that. You know, another interesting thing is when people don't understand as above, so below. You know, the same thing was actually written in the Holy Bible, so we can in different words though. So God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. There's nothing different. As above, so below. Pan, it's been a while, but I haven't done a live in a while.
Yeah, I know. I saw it come up. I'm like, holy smicker smacker. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you know what they say, man. A treat is only good once in a while.
That's old school, man. That's great, bro. How you been, man?
Good, man. Good.
That's good.
Real good. Hold on. Let's see if we can get some more people up here.
So what's the topic?
Whatever you want to talk about, bud.
Oh, I don't mind.
Literally.
It's
So
up to you.
we are just talking. My buddy Captain's not here, so I figured I'd hold it down here on TikTok. Hopefully he's doing all right, man. Hopefully we see him real soon.
Hey, Maria, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Everyone's up so late. I thought I was the only one.
Oh, please, Maria. I usually go to sleep late anyways. Hi, Amelia, how you doing?
I'm well. Hi,
What
guys.
up? Can I pet your dog?
Can I pet your dog? Can I pet your dog?
Oh, it's good stuff. Oh, Bodie, that's no good to hear. Did they tell you why you got suspended? Or just garbage? Come on up, Pedro.
Hey, look, it's Pedro. See.
This dude puts out some gems, I tell you that.
Well, ladies, anything in particular you would like to discuss?
What's up? What's up?
What's good, brother?
How's everybody?
Oh, just living the TikTok dream.
Right? I felt you on that. Ain't nothing wrong with living the TikTok dream, though.
Nope.
That's until, of course, they inevitably come to shut it down.
Yeah.
I was minding my
Just
own
waiting,
business. Scrolling
waiting with
TikTok.
anticipation.
We
What's
gotta
up,
do
Amelia?
something.
Sorry.
We gotta figure
No.
something out. We gotta find another platform or something.
Well, there's the
What?
clapper.
I was just gonna say
They're
that.
they're getting crazy on what you can search up. Like I was looking up David Icke the other day, complete like brought up some Jew ass thing like about the Jew community, and then I was looking up for free movie websites, piracy, you know, and then like we do not support piracy. I started laughing, but I found it. I just searched the algorithm different, motherfuckers.
Oh, well, Amelia, if you didn't know, did you know that in reality, well, allegedly, and by the way, this is for entertainment purposes only, this is for writing a script in a movie, pirates were the good ones, the government was the bad ones.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Yo, that's why I don't feel bad the way I be fucking corporations up
Yeah.
sometimes. Like I be feeling bad every once in a while. People talked about it like, oh no, people are actually staying alive. Like people are just well, fuck yo. Like if I didn't have to survive so hard, I wouldn't find loopholes in your fucking system.
Hey
What's up,
guys.
Sharon?
Hello, Sharon.
Yeah,
Hello.
that's the whole thing. That's the thing. Remember his history, his
His
story. So
story. Mm-hmm.
so yeah, but that's what I tell people. I go, so what's wrong with pirates? Because I go on cruises. I've gone on 13 cruises with family and stuff like that, or friends. And then there's people and I'm like, oh, look at all these pirate things. They're like, oh, pirates are bad. I go, really? So government's good? And they're like, well, no. And I go, so then who was good and who was bad? Was the pirates good or was the government bad? And they're like, no, the government was good. And I'm like, really? Are you sure about that? Because I
I'm
can
gonna
tell you a
agree
lot
with the
of
people who
instances.
have the ability to travel their natural world. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with those people.
yeah. And then I started getting
Facts.
into issues, and I started spitting out facts, about what the government's done and this and that, and so on and so forth. And then even there's a story, there's stories where they got the pirates, where like, oh yeah, but pirates are taking, the Slaves and the Slavs, and or the and what do you know? And I'm like, oh really? I said, did you know the original story? I said, where did you read that? And they go, oh, it's in a book. I was like, who wrote the book? Oh, this writer. And I said, do you think that writer was probably paid by the government to do that, like they do now with
Right.
all these propagandas? And they're like,
Just
you mean that
Hasbro
CNN?
dad
Right.
is the
And,
printer.
yeah, and then I was like, there was only the people that were most the literate ones were ones in government or ones that they paid, so people that would learn. So the peasants couldn't write for themselves, and they didn't want to teach them and everything. So, and I keep on going and going and going, and I'm like, did you know that the pirates that they arrested them, and then for them to get out of what they needed to, they were the ones transporting them, so then they could write in the books that the pirates are doing it, when in reality it was the government that caught the pirates and made them do it and forced them to do it.
Exactly. I feel like the pirates were way too free for the government's taste. Like, if you're a
Yes.
person that's trying to take over, like, you know what I'm saying, to enforce your own narratives and everything, the pirates were way too free for anybody to, like, for them to do anything with them. So they had to come up with something.
Right. And plus they didn't go by taxes, and they knew how to get around the system and everything, and that's why, and they helped out a lots of people. That
Yeah,
I know
they
for sure because I remember my past lifetimes, and there were 8 pirate kings. So in the story of the Pirates of the Caribbean with the pirate kings, that's real. You just people don't know this. That's the whole point. And I used to be from past lifetimes. I remember all my past lifetimes. When I was here on Earth. So there are these stories.
that's
And they're
impressive.
there. You just have to look for it also. So
Yep.
yeah,
Looking
big
for
background noise. There we go. So yeah, if you really search deeper, like for example, they have 5 miles under the Vatican. So and then also many floors under in the Smithsonian. They hide information from us. You remember in the movie, and I'll make it short, and I'll end my plane. Do you remember anyone seeing Indiana Jones?
Indiana
Hold on,
Jones.
Yes.
hold on, Despe. The real question is that you're constantly monitored,
Yes.
And they're
not
all up in your
censored.
Yeah.
mind.
Right.
All
Yeah.
Although
up
you are
in your
censored, but you are
mind.
monitored
Right. You're
You
monitored.
can't even
twenty-four
think a
seven.
thought
Right.
without them
And,
fucking knowing at this point.
right. And to finish, in there, did anyone see the Indiana Jones? Any of them?
I seen a couple of them.
Okay, do you
I've seen like
remember
all of them.
in the first one in the Ark of the Covenant? Well, remember how I think in the fourth or the fifth one they showed the Ark of the Covenant,
Yeah.
was hidden. So you saw all those artifacts were hidden. That's what they do with the information. They even had and they even had a sci-fi where they had this place in South Dakota and the Badlands, and where they hide information there too, and they do.
Well, yeah, they hide most
Yeah, they
information
take
Yeah.
they
in
take all
plain
the
sight.
alchemy and it's called political sciences, but all the while they know the art of alchemy with sexual ritual abuse. You know what I'm saying? And it's called political sciences, but they never stop utilizing it. They know, and then if you put a bunch of sigils all over the world, temples and pyramids, right? You're gonna have markings that could what with little invisible frequencies, wavelengths, incantations. So now you have a distorted coherence of audio and visual. So we are living in a sort of simulation, film over film over film layer, right? And then you
Right.
have different ellipses where if like you have like the what was it the Georgia Guidestones and other places where pillars and the light is fragmented in between those little light spaces, that's bending of light. So it like just that small bending of light can give a a panoramic pandemic pan right a totality. Yeah,
Yeah, pan's a Greek word for all.
yeah, for total,
So
yeah.
yes, yeah,
I
like
feel like it would be real easy for a person. Okay, like just say you're born into this reality, right? Where everything's dictated, like your whole setting is dictated by somebody else. So, like this collective, you can't even put your finger on this collective, but everything that you do is being dictated by this collective, who, as far as you know, are all subjected to the same type of indoctrination and same type of like setting as you. Like I don't see like people believe that they know so much, but when it comes down to history, they can't really vouch for it. And I believe like when they talk about how history, the greatest fruit of war was to be able to rewind, like you know what I'm saying, was to be able to rewrite history. And it's like how long has history been being rewritten? It's still being rewritten. Like war is going on till today. So it's
Yeah.
like so much shit has been changing. Everybody talks about like how this and
They
that
changed
happened
all the
this many years
linguistics.
ago. Predictive
It's all
programming is real.
purposeful. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
It's
yep.
all, like it's all purposeful. If you change the linguistics of everything, I've researched shit so far in deep, like everything. Like there's a big ass time to Germany, and and the professors there they changed. Like I found it to like where they talk about religions, the creditor, and the sources, so that way you never can figure it out. One, two, like if you get searching through everything without, right, never having this gnosis and going within. And then what are the two things you don't talk about normally? Political things and religious things.
It's
Because
less
then
about
if you
it's less
talk,
about what you talk about and more so what you feel restricted to talk about. because everybody
Right.
believes this problem this way, and what the people that raised you believe that way, and different stuff. So you don't want to go against these things so that you be the reason why you like you're
Yeah,
causing
that was
disruption.
some of the like the implicit bias, like
Yeah,
implicit bias put on by your family members and different things, and then
yeah,
not wanting to go against the
and
grain
that's
and,
heavy.
and be
That's
this.
heavy on more
That is
people
heavy.
than
And
yeah.
then not only that, if you inner talk about it, then right, you're gonna see like that the differences isn't between us. It's
Yeah, they
between
make
the
you
lines of what
uncomfortable.
the fuck they yeah,
They
that's just
make
what they
you
want.
And,
uncomfortable to have your
and
own
and
mind.
sometimes the lack of differences. That's what they don't want.
Yeah, well, I mean, because like okay, for me personally, when somebody never disagrees with me, like let's just say I have a friend that never disagrees with me on anything, I feel a little bit like skeptical about that person. It's just because like I know we don't see eye to eye on literally everything, so this person is usually there for the wrong reasons. Like it's something that's keeping
Yep.
this person around because I know they don't agree with me on everything to the point where they're like now they're agreeing with me on everything. And it's like for what?
Yep.
Something's to it.
Fishy.
Yeah, sketchy.
Well, by the way, just to let Despe Parado, by the way, this is for you or this is for everyone in the chat and or anyone in this room. I'm not here to I respect everyone's perspective. If you're religious, not religious, if you're agnostic, if what spiritual, whatever it is that you believe in, and if you say you're Jesus or God, whatever, doesn't matter to me. I respect it, and that's your perspective, and that's your belief, or whatever it is, and or what you are, or who you are, or what you are, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so just to answer his question, I understand that when it comes down to history, none of us can vouch for anything beyond our years. In reality, yes, you can. The information is there, it's just they hid it from us. I'm a psychic medium. I remember my past lifetimes. I know who I was my past lifetimes, and I know particular places, and I'm connected to the Akashic records because I'm in higher consciousness and inner peace. And even though that I am on the fifth dimension, others are on the third dimension or fourth or in the fifth or teeter third and fourth and fifth, so on and so
Right.
forth. My soul is on all times and dimensions. So I
Exactly.
am now I can be there. Others, all of you can follow, but it just depends if you put in the work also into it. So I can access the Akashic records, and once you get to the eighth dimension, which I am above the eighth dimension, my soul is and my consciousness, then I can access it and use remote viewing if necessary. But I'm not going to be given like 100% all the information that everyone needs because everyone needs to get there. But I can access everything because that's where you're supposed to access it.
How
You
Yeah,
know.
and
long?
it doesn't work that way either. You can't give anybody anything really because they have to
Right. They have to
decide to
make the
go on the
decision.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't want to give all the information. Sometimes I go into a live like, "Oh no, well give us all the information." I'm like, "No." And then they think, "Oh, you're a fraud." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll
That's
leave.
why
Bye."
I try to describe things where I'm like leaving hints because I know that I can't make nobody know certain things. So it's like I try to leave certain gems. And I try to make my
Yep.
presentation a certain way that a person could understand or would eventually come across that information on their own.
Right. And my motto is to meet people where they are anyway. So, if you have to bring people along, for a little bit, okay. But
You
then
you you
they're
know
they're
how
not
hard.
gonna they're not gonna go all the way with you. That's the one thing that you need to understand.
Never, and that's what makes it complicated. Is they never gonna go the full way. So it's almost like you don't feel like you wasting your time necessarily. It just seems like it can get annoying. I'm gonna be honest. It can get frustrating because you trying to like you've been through all this type of like detachment and different things in your life, like where you came from a whole lot of stuff that people have never came from before in their life. And so it's like trying to explain these things when it becomes like normal for you, like normalized for you. Like
Yeah.
it gets pretty annoying trying to even convince anybody else. So for a lot of the people that especially like the ridiculers and stuff like that who try to down or shame other people, it's like it's hard for me to like give you the game straightforward because you won't understand it off top.
I find it unique that people think like love just comes easy. You know what I mean? Like to transmute things through love and to choose love is not always the easiest thing, because like how you're talking, like some people just try to ram shit down your throat, and it's the delivery, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yep.
the demeanor in which you do things. Because, I've come across people even on this platform where at least Pan was like, hey, I'm not going to just completely say fuck you, but like, look, I can't just prove it to you. But there's people that do talk like that, but that's derogatory. You're invalidating as shit in the next sense, but you're trying to like act like you're some type of prestige person and won't even. But then if you can't exactly
Well,
explain it in a way that in which I can understand, first of all,
so
and at
there's
least like the art of storytelling, like how we're sharing our story, that is a connection. So maybe I can be like, oh shit, right?
yep. I
Sometimes
don't
it. Oh my, go
I
ahead, bro.
don't no, I was gonna say I don't disagree with you at all, Amelia, but there's two sides to that coin. So we
So
understand the circumstances that we're in. We understand the how deep things are getting, and the pressure is kind of on how we have to kind of wake up people, but
Right.
just understand that you're not going to be able to wake up everybody. There's
Everybody.
only
Right. Yeah.
like
and aim at the people that are curious and they're already
And
partially
willing to
with their eyes
receive.
open.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point we're at. Like, we don't got time no more to try to cram shit and
what
like take that time. And it's not
y'all,
like you don't stop, but we have to look for people that are more readily to receive.
y'all,
And
y'all know what?
and
I'll go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Pedro.
I know because I was gonna say like I do have this tactic where it's like okay. I'll respond to the trolls in order to teach people who are curious. And for a lot of people, that don't come off like, you know what I'm saying? It's not well received by a lot of people because they don't understand what I'm doing. So it's like, they're like, oh, you're always responding to the trolls. You're giving off all this negative energy and stuff. When in fact, that I'm actually teaching the people and like the trolls are giving me like perspectives that I can use. They're giving me the ammunition that I can actually use to be able to shoot these people this knowledge and stuff that actually do care to learn what I'm talking about. So it's like their disrespect, like how they come off, like their rudeness and stuff, however they come off when I respond, it might come off a little bit sarcastic or whatever, but in reality, it gets the point across to the people who are actually there to learn. And so for the people who know what I know, it's like, dang, are you attacking these people because they don't understand that tactic. But I can come off pretty harsh to people who aren't like, you feel me, like understanding my life path.
And as far as like detachment, like I don't know, like I've learned isolation. I like don't even say I'm alone no more. I'm set apart, and to isolate is not a bad thing.
It's not.
Like I can separate myself, and I still like I like to do service shit. So if it's to serve people, I'll do it all day. I'll go do it any community
Exactly,
event,
exactly, and that's
any
where I'm
community
coming
event.
from.
But
That
personal engagement, I can't let you in that personal space. Like I don't know. Like I love my mom, but even her, I haven't even been talking to her lately. My sister, like who I
I can
started
I can
my
relate.
relationship.
I can
I'm just
relate.
like,
At least you don't give them everything. You don't tell them what you're actually thinking. I know exactly what you're talking
I'm
about.
like that, and I'm like that sometimes. I'll be fair. I sometimes I give people exactly what I'm thinking because I got this thing about being disingenuous. Like the whole thing about it is the people that are teaching you all this stuff and they're giving you all this information, they'll give it to you up until that you show them that, or you're able to show them that you know something that's different, that you're aware of something different. They
oh,
don't
dude,
never
I
give
hate to
you
be
the time to go.
gaslighted. That's my shit.
Yeah, like you feel me? So,
Gaslighted or any of that shit.
so
No.
they don't care. Like
Or
they don't
talk
care
down
about.
to. That's a constant thing that happens. Even, and that's the bad thing is
Condescending.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, that happens more in family. You try to tell somebody about like the food they're eating or the way that things are happening, and they're like, oh, it's not that bad, or you're
Imagine a
just
person raising you, right? Like this person that's raising you is teaching you all these things, and they teach you a bunch of valuable things, and you look at these things and you actually take these as things of value from coming from somebody that actually cares about you, and they don't take it to the degree that you take it though. They've learned so much about it that they are able to acknowledge it as a tool, but they don't know how far that they can or what degree that they can use that tool. And so your parents will tell you things like, "Oh, you're gonna go out and you're gonna hit these rocks," and that's true, but it's also bricks and boulders and everything else out there since you left from being out there. And then our parents tell us that you know what I'm saying, they want us to be able to teach them stuff, but that's not true. In all reality, they're not willing to hear none of that shit. You actually go out and start learning this stuff, this different stuff that's around you. You able to learn things that they weren't able to accept. That they probably did learn but weren't able to accept and therefore never taught to you. And now when you bring it to them, they act like it was never a thing. That shit's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Dude. My parents, I talked about Epstein Island before it even became a thing, right? Like, I don't know that, like, I have weird ass, I don't know, just shit comes to me. Anyways, my parents have always called me a conspiracy theorist. One day I called my mom. She, like, clicked over for a freaking phone call. And she didn't know. She clicked back over and she's like, yeah, I was just talking to my daughter. And she was talking about her crazy conspiracy things. I'm like, oh, for real? Oh, for real? Tell me how you really feel.
They more insecure and less stable in their
But
standing.
the universe will not lie. Like, I can't even be mad. Like, when people wrong me and they're like, are you upset with me? I'm like, no. Because half the time I fucking know better. So I should have done better, first of all. And I can't. I can't be mad for that interaction. You know, and what I do is just now limit more space and different boundaries that I learned to not allow and tolerate. And I'm just at that point, like, I don't have that space no more. I don't have that space to give up anymore. For anybody that cannot hold that space for me and double standards. My sister's is the double standard shit. My mom is like, if you're not gonna engage and interact with me, like, I love you, but then I'm just gonna love you from a distance, because then you're not. And then I had a friend that I've known 20 plus years tell me, are you even taking care of yourself? Like, do you know how fucking crazy you sound out your mind? Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to be, is like out my motherfucking mind right now.
Out my comfort zone.
Right?
You gotta come out your comfort zone, because comfortable people are so biased, bro. Like, comfortable people are biased as shit.
And taking care of myself, I'm taking better care of myself than I ever have in my whole entire life. Like, that's the funniest part about it.
Yeah, it's just that they can't tell that they react the way that they do. They can't tell. They don't see how you can feel comfortable with yourself, believing what you believe when they can't.
They want to keep people like that because it's stagnant potential energy that
beneficial
they
to them.
can manipulate,
It's
right?
beneficial
And
to
you
their
can't
comfort zone.
manifest with that. But people like us who are conscious, aware beings and can vibrate, right? We can take that potential energy, raise it, and manifest with it. Conscious, aware beings, right? So now it's not just stagnant potential energy to be loose off of. They need that perception to be disillusioned.
That's
You know,
realistic.
it feels uncomfortable talking with people sometimes that are not even on the same, page. They're talking about getting things or buying certain things, and you're thinking in the back of your mind of all the bad things that are within whatever they're talking about. Or, if it's politics, whatever they're talking about, you're thinking about all the things that are actually
The truth,
happening.
Exactly.
all the truth. Like, my mind fucking hurts from all the truth because I can't compute. Can't compute.
I've been struggling with that lately. Like, dude, like to know
Oh
something, to
my
hear
god.
somebody express something, and it's like, especially, look, bro, I'm gonna be honest. Like, when it comes down to the whole, to even like race and everything like that, it's like a lot of this shit that y'all be agreeing with and different stuff. Like,
Man,
I can't really agree with that shit. You feel me? And it's
no,
like you don't want to step on, like, you don't want to step on nobody in a way that it hurt them. At the same time, you don't want to be
No
disingenuous.
matter what culture you're
So it's
from.
like, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it don't matter what culture you're from with the race shit or any of that shit.
there's
Because you're
only
always
one
gonna offend
race,
some fucking body.
the
Ultimately,
human
and that's what I
race.
realized. Like either way it goes, because, like, look, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, even with the I'm a melanated person, but I'm my own melanated person, and how I see it is like a lot of the things a lot of ways that I perceive things as an individual melanated person. None of that shit gets supported. It has to be something that's being grouped, agreed upon, or in different shit like that in order for it to make any type of difference for me. But when it's something that I feel like, you know what I'm saying, by myself, like work being slavery, you know what I'm saying,
I
motherfuckers
don't
make
know that
making
there's
food while
ever
they're in
been a time
shelter.
in my life and
Nobody
I've
wants
been
to
like
agree with that.
considered
Yeah,
colored. I've never
and
considered, like, that's crazy.
another thing to add on to that is we're all melanated. It's just different levels of
Mm-hmm.
melatonin
Right, right,
that we have. You're
true.
gonna have more because you're darker, and I'm gonna have less. I just put a video out on this not too long ago we're all different shades of brown. There's light
Mm-hmm.
brown, there's really light brown, and there's darker
Mm-hmm.
brown. There's no white, there's no
Remember?
black, there's no in between there. There's brown.
Right, but what there is a history, right?
Yeah.
Our given history.
Yeah.
There's our given history, and there's the emotions that's attached to it, and this is what we call predictive programming. In all
That's
Yep.
what
reality,
that was intentional.
in all
Yep.
reality, like all cultures talk about they really hint off, and even religions and spirituality itself, hence their name spirituality. Like they address the spirit as being what actually like is the being that we are.
Yeah.
Bodies. We talk about how we gonna leave these bodies behind, different stuff like that. And in any other sense, like my fellow melanated people would be like, oh well, we can't take money with us and all this other stuff. You feel me? Like they'll say that, but it's like we don't take this skin with us when we die. Our bodies
Yeah.
and our skin are gonna refuel the goddamn earth. So I just don't understand. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just as material as anything else here in the
Not
material.
only that, the people that have nefarious ass intentions, dude, we are their fucking slaves despite what color we are, bro. They don't give a fuck.
I don't like people having mind control over me like that. That's why I see it the way that I do.
Uh,
Like if I go all my life thinking that oh well yeah because of my color, because of my skin color this and because of my skin color that, then I'm anybody that's able to rebuttal against that or say anything against that has the ability to be able to offend me and get me out my body. I don't like motherfuckers having mind control over Debo like that. I'm sorry. I'm
eh,
Debo.
I do have something to tell, and this is how much you've been controlled, and it's been put into your face. So on the bottom there was a that's we're chit chatting, and I was telling them about look up these two names, and they're part of the Galactic Federation of Light. And long story short, and in it, and it was pretty funny. Once I said that, then about like a few seconds later, or several seconds later, Skywalker says joined. So just to let you know that in the movie Padme, if everyone knows Padme, okay, the what she was dressed. If you were to look up the last Queen of Tartaria, the same outfits that Padme wears is from the last Queen of Tartaria. Okay, and the Jedi, which is really spelled Djedi, comes from the Egyptians, which really in reality were Kemets or Kemet. Okay, so the Egyptians is what the Greeks referred to them, the Greek name for them. You know the way they were spelled out. So in reality, there were Jedi's were the ones that were in higher consciousness, and there is a species that are not Jedi's but similar wording, or they're referred to as the Jedi's, but they're in higher consciousness. There's only 50 of them left. Okay, now it is a species though. So, but I don't want to get into that because I mean there, but that it does track back, and there is evidence of that. So just to let you know, all the movies that they throw at you is just throwing it into your face of what is. So the
Yeah.
moon is a space station. You know, a few years ago they had about the moon. They also any conspiracy that they had, the Manchurian Candidate, all these, oh, already done. It's either been done or will happen.
And
Okay, so it's been planned. So it's on the movies. By the way, the
Why?
last one, Fly
Yeah,
Me to the Moon. Fly Me to the Moon was supposed to open up the beginning of May, and it didn't. They pushed it back,
It didn't.
and I don't know if it'll ever come. It'll probably come out, but maybe on Prime or Netflix or whatever, because they know it's gonna just crash. Because as you can tell, everyone's waking up, but well, they waking up, and then also they don't have enough money to go to the movie theaters. So, but just to finish, it shows where they're trying to go to the moon, and then they're saying, well, if we can't go to the moon for some reason, then we need to video record a moon landing that's not real. In reality, they never went to the moon. So they're just throwing it in your face right there.
Right, as they often do, they often throw a lot of things in your face. But and I think that this has been happening for a long time as a manipulation tactic, like a brainwashing tactic. It's like throw a whole lot of information out there, and like you know what, like how they do with concepts. Like okay, even math itself. If you look up the definition of for mathematics, like it'll tell you that it's an
mathematician.
abstract study. Now you feel me? It's an abstract study, and what's abstract mean? That it has no physical or concrete existence at all. So we are dealing with
Oh,
concepts, right?
oh,
A concept is able to
Concept, mathematician, magician,
but
sorcery.
finish what you need to say, Pedro, and I want to explain to something about the other math that we don't know about, or some people do, but not many. But go ahead.
Okay, for sure. So, like when they're teaching this math, it's an abstract study. When you think of something being abstract or not having physical, I mean, or a physical or concrete existence, you think of a concept because that's exactly what it is. Now, a concept is used basically to simplify. It can simplify something. It can be used to help us understand something, and it's all up to the person that has control of the narrative of that concept. So when y'all made up math, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all had
Yeah.
this is a concept. It can help us, or it can be used to fool the fuck out of a lot of people. And science is math based. So when you start thinking about that, it's a continuation of that same shit. Like no cap.
Just to let you know, the math that we all grew up with was infinite math. So now in college they have it in college, but it's not a requirement. But not all colleges have that. And there is a finite math. So where the numbers end and there is no zero. Okay, it goes deeper than that. I'm just giving you an example. Infinite math, the numbers go on forever. Yeah, like infinity. So, but finite math, you know how like we're in a matrix, the illusion? Do you know what which here I'm gonna go through a few of the math topics. So you have linear algebra, you have a set theory, you have a finite calculus. There's finite calculus and then there's calculus. There's two differences. Okay, calculus, of course, would be for the infinite math, and then you have the finite math. And then guess, and you're gonna love this one. There is matrix algebra to find the different matrices in algebra. Now, they say that they use this, okay, math for economics, for business, certain types of business, and computer science. Okay, of course, computer science, economics, and so on and so forth. But they chose not to give you this because right then and there, you have matrix algebra, which works alongside linear algebra. Now, their time is nonlinear and time is linear. They need to be both, like a yin and a yang and a cause and effect and so on and so forth. But pretty funny how there's matrix algebra. And then when I explain this to people, oh, finite math is not real. Oh, really? Well, then look it up for yourself and you'll find the definition for it. And then all the math topics that are included with it, and so on and so forth. So that's the whole purpose. And in reality, higher dimensions, okay, which most of us or all of us in reality are not from this earth. We were born here, but our souls weren't here because of there's
Exactly.
evidence of that, which I'm not going to get into that yet. But to finish, that they use finite math and fill in the holes with infinite math. Now there are people that use infinite math and fill in the holes with finite math. Remember, each perspective, each individual, there's certain ways, but it's good to have both maths, sort of like a yin and a yang, or a cause and effect, or a masculine and a feminine. You're
That's just
supposed to be right. You're supposed to be a masculine and a feminine, each and every individual one of us.
that's facts.
So
Like
just to let
that's
you know.
facts. I was just talking about that like the other day. Like the masculine, how masculine and feminine energy exists in both sexes, and that's why it requires both your mom and dad to
Yes,
be able to create you in the first place. Like
right.
they're all coming from a similar, like a common energy.
But just to let you know that if you were to look up, well, I'm not telling you to go start looking into. If you want to look for yourself, it's great. But
Well, I
finite
never heard of
math.
that before,
But
so I
you right there,
definitely.
you go. They didn't want you to know that because they didn't want you to figure everything out. So one of the things that I tell people that are in the flat earthers and the round earthers, you're doing math wrong. They're like, how can you be doing math wrong? And then I say finite math. Everyone stays quiet because no one knows about finite math. Or they say, or some of them say, oh no, it's only used for economics and for business and for computer science. No, it's not. Have you used it before? And I haven't heard anyone say, have they used it before to do a research about anything else, and like anything to do with this world, the way that it's shaped, or anything in the universe. So there's the whole point. We've been
I,
taught something that is we haven't been taught it. So if you haven't been taught it, it must be for a particular reason.
Right. Well,
Yeah, we
you
were.
know, the lack of like if you leave, if, like not giving, leaving out information is the same thing as misinformation. So it makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
So what
I've
is
been saying I'm gonna look into the finite math, but I've been saying like I remember one day I'm like yeah, because I unschool homeschool my kids, and I'm like I might teach them, so I might look into that because I didn't feel comfortable teaching them the regular math, and even with the COVID jib, not to cut you off, truth, but like there's a matrix inside of the mitochondria because I broke down like the whole cell, so that is like a big thing with all this internet of bodies and this quantum entanglement and this stuff that they're trying to do with like the White Rabbit collaboration at CERN with this universal clocks is in order to like have this internet of bodies with this quantum hive mind computer and all this shit, you would have to interconnect these matrices and all this shit.
Bingo. Using matrix algebra, working with
Yes. Mm-hmm.
linear
Yep.
algebra.
Yep. Yep. So like I do get, yeah, I just haven't delved down that, dude. Like my mind hurts. I was telling Truth earlier. I've been working on this I deep dive shit, but I'm trying to like draw pictures so I can like when on one of our lives talk about it because I was looking into squid and the perturbation of some shit, like it's a longer name of conducting something, and then like quantum interference and how that all ties in because it all ties in. Because even one of the documents that I talked about with like it talks about physio, psycho, kinesis, and telepathy. It even talked about singularity. So yeah, it's all freaking interconnected. But I'm gonna look into that. So you said it's phi math, right?
finite?
Finite math. I'm gonna look into
Yep.
that.
Right there. It's right there. And just to let you know is that, I'm a psychic medium and an empath and many other things, but those are the main ones. And I speak to higher species on higher dimensions. And there and go on their spaceship. There are spaceships that are above, but they're here to help us. And you don't see it. And there's people that use their third eye to see it. If they can't see it with their eyes, but you can see behind a cloud and you'll be like, yeah, there's a ship right there. And you look at it, but you could look with your third eye also, and you could sense it and stuff like that. People just don't realize, they so focus you with what's on the
They're not
TV or
in
on your
tune.
phone, you're not in tune. So that's the whole purpose. That's why I get into higher consciousness and inner peace by doing grounding with Gaia, which chakra healing frequencies, and meditation. And all this is not new age. They've been doing this since back in India or pre-Vedic times, which is before Christ. BC, or however you want to refer to it, before the Bible, okay, and before all of this, and I found out, I did some research recently about the Tartarians. The Tartarian Mesopotamia was around 5300 BC, more or less, something around there, and I found out that the Tartarian tablets go to 5300 BC or probably precede it. They're still doing the research on it. So Tartarians.
Have any of you guys seen the Terrence? I think it's I can't remember
Terrence
his last
Howard.
name. I think
Terrence
that's
Howard.
right.
Mm-hmm. Where he talks
Where
about the math.
he's talking about the math, and now I want to add
Mm-hmm.
on to that, which will make it more understandable for some people. So the only way that math makes sense is if it makes sense physically, which kind of goes into what Pan is talking about, the finite math. So in his video he speaks about how one times one equals that number, right? But one times zero is zero. And how does that work in the physical realm? When we start off with one and we times it by zero, well, we're still going to have one, right?
There it is.
It,
It's right
that's
there.
that's that's the
Yeah,
difference.
that's
That's
what I
the
bring up too.
basics. That is the basics of finite math when it can
Hmm.
fit into reality.
Yeah.
And then they try to
And
there's an individual earlier tonight that was saying about metaphysics, and I go to him, I said, okay, I go, how many philosophies are there in this world, give or take? And of course he said, well, there's lots. And I go, in reality there's 8.7 billion philosophies, because each individual is doing their own philosophy. You can create your own philosophy. Each and any of us can, anyone can. And then you have all the ones from the past. So how can you say that two people their own philosophy is the right philosophy, when in reality you have to, each philosopher or which in reality we're our philosophers ourselves in reality because we're living life and then we're doing the information. And if you were to get to higher consciousness, you can remember your past lives and then delve into creating your own philosophy. So that's the
Kevin,
whole
Let me
purpose.
follow you, man.
what about the
We're writing our
Fibonacci?
own we're writing our own books, our own interpretation of what the meaning of life is. In reality, one of the last things that I'll well, I mean, so I can land my plane is when you go into the God complex, heaven, whatever you want to refer to it, to get in there, they ask you one of the questions that they ask you: Are you spiritual? Are you religious, or nothing at all? Of course, you're supposed to say you're spiritual. You can say you're spiritual and then religious, and then
Wouldn't that determine like the outcome? Sorry to cut you off, but like wouldn't that determine the outcome of where you end up going, like based on
right. If you say spiritual, you pass. If you say spiritual religious, you still pass because you said spiritual first because you are a spirit. And then if you say no, if you say religious first or religious or the only one, you don't pass. And then also the other one, which is the third one, and nothing at all. Now, one of the other things is they want an explanation from you of your meaning, each and every individual in here. When you get there, your meaning of the meaning of life. Now, some people could do it in 3 words. Some people could do it in 3 sentences. Some people could do it in a book. Some people could do it in, like 20 books, for example. So some people do an outline and then explain the outline. Okay. Some people could do it in 3 words and then, do an explanation of each word: live, love, and last.
yeah.
And then use laugh and learn, the 5 L's.
Hey, bro, let me ask you a question. What do you think about the concept? Like, what do you think about the concept of everybody in existence around you being there for you, like really just for you to learn? Like, like I had this hypothetical. I was like, what if everybody's around me is just part of what I'm learning? Like, you feel me? Like everybody lives like actually an individual life, and your general life path, or like everybody around you, general like revolves around your general life path.
The reason being, it's your perspective. You have your own perspective. I know they all together as one. Okay, but here I'm going to throw you for a loop and you're not going to believe it. But in reality, it's really how I see it because I don't come from this creator. I hacked my way in here. I'm in an NPC form, which is a non-player character.
Right.
Okay, and I created my own soul because I needed to get
That's what I
people that
mean.
were in here. I needed to get people in here. There's 50 of them that were stuck, and I'm taking them out. So I'm not going to get into that story, but long story short, that outside of this creation, there's 2 voids. There's the void which is in the circle, which is in between the multiverse, in between the different universes. There's 44 of them, so roughly 44 million galaxies. Outside of that circle of this creator, there is the second void. Okay, and that's where I come from, and Lilith and many others. Not many, but others. Okay, before this creator, there was 9,999. In the Akashic Records, it explains very similar to what I am saying right now. Okay, of course, remember my perspective. I'll say it a few different words or way that I say it. So if you guys were connected, it is true. So this is just one creator out of, the one that gets in control of 44 universes. Okay, however you want to call this creator, if you want to call it God, prime creator, the one, whatever word, source, one source creator,
Right,
whatever you want to
right.
refer to it. But people don't even realize, like, all this information is up in the Akashic Records. So, but yeah, you can, if you want to think it like that, but remember, it's your perspective.
Right.
So,
It was more so. It was more so just a hypothetical because it was an idea that I had. It's definitely something that makes you think. Like dude, like because everybody differs from you like as an individual. Like we like conduct ourselves way different than the individuals that we actually are. Whether it's out of respect for people, whether we just want to cater to the idea of people or whatever. But ultimately, we think our own thoughts, have our own perspectives, and our own outlooks on life. Yet everybody tries to cater to a collective idea in order to cater. And so, like, I mean, I feel like for the most part, most people don't live up to their own standards of life. And I feel like they probably should.
Yeah, what they want to do actually, what
Yeah.
they're thinking in their head. Yeah, they're held back by the majority.
Yeah, like so, like since and we're kind of balled up to put on these masks, like for different situations. For instance, like court. Like my mom, like for court, would tell me like, "Hey, you got it. Well, why are you dressed like that? Put on this suit or whatever." And I'm just like, "Is that going to change the law?" You feel me? Like, is that going to change the law if I was to do so? And the fact of the matter is, it isn't. But you feel like this is a more presentable look for me to put on for everybody. It is not going to change anything, actually.
Well, in reality, if you really look at the swinging doors, well, I know I'm going off subject here, but you're when you go into those doors, and if you have no lawyer, okay, they need to present evidence that you are guilty, which they never can. So it's the wording of words and it's the way of doing things. So there is a gentleman that I found and he does a book and there's others and videos here. That's why they want to get rid of of the tickety tockety is because it's giving too much information so quickly, so fast they can't control it. Whereas in the other apps they were able to control that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
I
right.
feel like in TikTok they gives people more comfort in being individuals. Like you start seeing the type of shit that people are interested in. They're watching this motherfucker put peanut butter and chocolate and mustard and shit all over itself and just make these random noises. You feel me? People are hella.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I
Yeah.
can no shade,
No,
but like
that's true. That's true,
they're very
bro.
into that. They're watching the grown ass man with the pacifier in his mouth and in the baby diaper and everything, and they're interested. They're intrigued by this actually. However, in real life, when you go outside, if you were to actually be pulling anything off like that, everybody's gonna look at you like a fucking weirdo. So it's like, why, how does this guy have all these goddamn followers on TikTok and shit like that? Then it's
Yo, where
because
did that
people.
guy go? Like, not to whatever, but I remember that guy.
Yeah,
I
like
remember
everybody's
that
actually
guy.
interested. They're all
He's
actually
the
interested in some weird shit, and then they act like they not. Oh, we're not. That's within it, just so that they can justify being like, oh, that's weird. And
Oh,
this,
and
this shit's weird.
there is a reason why. By the way, look up the straw man and it'll explain to you about the court system and how it's not, the
yeah.
way it is. So just look up straw man and you'll be good. But shoot, I just lost my damn train of
Your
thought.
train of thought.
Yeah, I know because I was thinking of the straw man and stuff like that. What was the last thing that you were saying?
Oh,
Um,
I was talking. I was talking about basically how everybody they act like they're not interested
oh
in
yeah.
things that are bizarre or weird. And you feel
Right,
me?
right. Now I got it. So, for this is for the protons. The protons are the positive, the electron and the neutron. So with the electrons, they there is research done where with the electrons, which is the negative particle, it connects easily and speaks to each other like so easily. So that means people negativity, like all of us in here, we can connect easier by focusing on the dark side, negativity, than the positivity. Okay, because positivity you have to open up yourself up, whereas in negativity that's why when you go into chats and then there's arguments and everything, you start seeing the people coming in like drastically, like 20, 30, 40, 50 people, and people are bawling and like screaming at each other or fighting with each other. Dude, you're gonna have like, if you keep it going, you're gonna have probably hundreds of people in here. Negativity will bring, bro, you'll connect easier with negativity. Socrates, Socrates I call him. Socrates even says this, that everyone you will connect with someone very easily negatively than you will with positively. And then also for the CERN thing before, they did this thing where you would look at the proton and it wouldn't move. When you look away, the proton would be moving. So in reality, the protons and electrons and neutrons are all speaking to each other as it is. But they haven't. Einstein didn't delve into that because that's sort of I think he wanted to get into it. They say he didn't. I don't think so. I think he wanted to. It's just they restricted him from doing that, or he probably couldn't get the money for it. So, or he didn't have enough time because he was trying to solve, come up with other things that he was helping out and so on and so forth. So, just letting you know that that electrons and protons, that they're a lot more powerful and they're a lot more unique than what you think.
That
and
makes a
and
lot of
not
sense.
not only that, in order to prosper in this reality, you're gonna have to understand both sides. The negative and the positive. The saying goes, uh, "Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer." That means to understand the negative.
As
Be
above, so as
be
above, so below. Back to the yin and yang, just like how y'all was
Yeah,
talking about.
be prepared to what your enemy is gonna do. That means you're gonna have to know the ways.
Yeah,
Even if you don't follow them, which I don't. I'm not attesting to or commending anybody or putting that out for anybody to do, but just understanding the thing. There's this book that Amelia, when I first seen her, it was 48 Laws of Power, and this book goes in deep on how deception, how people deceive, and it goes in it very intricately. It's a very good book.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw it today. Yeah, about manipulation and how you can see when someone's trying to manipulate you, like if it's any particular person or if it's a narcissist. There's five different types of narcissists, by the way, also. So yeah, that book. If you were to read it and you're very gullible, I suggest you look into it and buy it and read it. Or you can. I don't know if it's at a. I always say check the local library first if they have it. You never know. You
And
don't
you
have to
know,
pay for it.
Manipulation is so complicated for the simple fact that everybody's manipulating at all times. Like at all times, that you're born into a world that's manipulating you as you're born into it. So while
yeah,
everybody looks at manipulation as being like this super negative thing, like manipulate is just because we associate the word manipulation itself with negativity. When in all reality, you can manipulate somebody in a positive way. And I don't know.
the
I gotta.
fact is, the fact
What are the
is, we
first three
manipulate
words?
the physical realm all around us. So manipulation is just the moving of something out of its natural state.
Right, right.
What are the first three words
which
of
is which is how you
manipulation?
wait, which is how things become normal. When you think about it, like that's how things become normal because
In
normal and
this
nature
reality.
aren't the same thing. You
Yeah,
feel me? Like normal and nature aren't the same thing. When something is in its nature, this is before it can become normalized or anything like that. Because to be normalized, you have to take something out of its nature in order to make this the new normal. You feel me?
yeah. And in this reality, in this day and age, then you're gonna have to remove yourself from what is the norm to actually go back to your natural state.
Exactly. Exact. That's what I meant, my brother.
By the way, if when you were saying manipulation, the first three letters are man. Man, manipulate.
True.
And
True.
do I like
And
do
by man. And by
yeah.
man.
Right, there you go. So that's what I say. Do the research on each word and the etymology, and you're gonna realize. But if you're on a higher consciousness or higher, then you don't, whatever you say, even if I say understand, it's really to stand under you. I could say it and it
Yep.
won't bother me because no one stands on, I don't stand under anyone. So, but it's all in the thought process, is the
Intention,
intent.
intention,
Right,
exactly. There
right.
you go. Intention,
Yeah.
intention
So
is
I really say comprehend. I did change it, but like when you say hello, it's really hell, and I'm like, well, to tell you the truth, I mean, they can,
all words are spells. All
right,
words are spells, so you
right,
can't go wrong as long as your intentions are good.
right. That's what I'm saying. So that if you're on a higher dimension, then the words won't even matter. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. The higher the
I
dimension, the
was
easier it
just
gets.
That's funny that you bring that up because I was just thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about words. Like my daughter woke up and I told her good morning, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, damn. Like I was like, that's a word that I've been trying to like detour from having to use. But then I started thinking about it, and like all words are actually spells. Like you know what I'm saying? Somebody just vocally made this noise out their mouth, and it's like anybody's able to do that, and then they just gave it their own meaning. And anybody can do that once again. So I was like, it's probably better to just like know that I have good intentions behind the words that I use, rather than having to be just extraordinarily careful about what word I'm using. It's the intention behind the word that I'm using.
Yeah, also, if there's someone down there, if there's science fiction, in reality, no. The reality is you've been held back. So there is no science fiction. It's real science reality. That's it, they threw it in your face, like Star Trek, like Galactic Federation. There's a Galactic Federation. They called it the Republic or the Galactic Empire. You see, so they just change a few things up, but they did the research and stuff like that. There's even in movies, where they show like Jupiter ascending. They show the draconians, which are reptilians and stuff like that. So you see
Harry
it's in the
Potter.
movies. Harry Potter's real. Yes, it might not have happened in this multiverse, but it's happened before. So usually when the story comes up, it's in the Akashic records and they just want to bring it down. They usually either rewrite it again or they change certain things or certain aspects in it, or maybe
Yep.
characters and everything. But in reality, those stories are real. They might not be the whole story, that the way that it is portrayed from the original story, but yeah, like sort of like folklore. The Peter Pan stories, the all the princesses and the queens and all that stuff. All those are dark stories in reality because those writers decided to take it dark. But if you were really to look for there's a dark side and there's a light side. So that's what I'm saying. So don't believe everything that isn't a man-made book. Look within your soul and you'll find those answers. That's the whole purpose.
That's real. That's real. Yep, I definitely agree with that. They want to manipulate everything. I think the more confusing things are, just the better time that they have, because you have to spend all your time. And that's the thing about concepts, because you can introduce as many ideas and concepts to the world as you want. And it's just the people's attention that you catch when you making putting these ideas out and the concepts out. Now you have everybody dwelling on the possibilities of them being real and everything. And just based off, when you're a person that controls the media, you just watch the idea that you put out. You see how it affects people, and then based on that, you can start making different other ideas and concepts surrounding that to make it believable to people.
Yeah, like for example, another one is saying in there, Desperado was saying dragons. There's videos that they show artwork and that shows dragons. Ooh, excuse me. And so right then and there, but they were trying to hide the artwork. So there's like that's what I'm saying. It's how we would say elites, they're really parasites, because they're leeching off of us and everything. Allegedly, of course, because this is for, entertainment purposes only. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. They're just hiding the stuff, the information from you. But if you look really deep, just type in Tartaria, you're gonna find so much information on freaking and the Tartarian tablets. Type in Tartarian tablets, and you'll see everything is there. Sumerian texts and also the Mesopotamia mythology, which is not mythology. They just say mythology because in reality it's real.
Yeah,
They just want
mythology.
to.
I've learned, like, dude, like when you think about like the Bible and everything, yo, it's like so much of what's going on ties into the mythology. It's too much. It's too much of the same thing being recycled for you to not think so.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you have cultures that were separated by time and space, but they still depict giants. They still depict dragons. How can these groups of people be drawing and depicting these things if they weren't in their reality?
Exactly.
Right. There you go. This comes from the past. By the way, uh, if you were to go to the CIA reading room, they have so many files there about
Like
higher
Black Vault.
consciousness and inner peace and telekinesis and
Oh yeah, you mean
telepath.
you mean the Black Vault
Right. The CIA reading room.
reading group?
Then reading room.
Reading room.
Reading room. I do have like a friend. I do have like two things. They're on a website. If you are also to go to CIA.gov, and on the left hand side, scroll all the way down. Okay, there's tabs on the left, and you go to FOIA, which means Freedom of Information Act. In there, you click on that, then you click on the space bar for search, and you type in extraterrestrial, no hyphen. Voila! There's
Oh
all
yeah,
the
oh yeah.
unclassified documents.
They had the one that caught my interest the most was the one where they was in, I think they was in Russia or something like that, and they shot their surface to air missile at this craft, I guess, and basically like these beings come out of the craft and they turn everybody there into fucking stone pillars. or like
Yeah,
stone cold. Like, yeah, there's
yeah.
some really interesting, and it makes you kind of wonder, like, why in Congress, why during the congressional meetings that they've been having recently, haven't they brought up anything out of those files at all whatsoever? They didn't even do as much as bring up like Roswell or Betty and Barton Hill or anything
Yeah,
like that.
because they're controlled. That's the whole purpose. That you need to look for the information. They're not going to give it out to you.
Right.
The world court, there is a world court that is already giving that information, but that information will be given out very soon, as in the 10 days of darkness, which it won't be dark because we're going to still have, you just won't have Wi-Fi and all that needs. But now, I don't think it's going to get to that. I think it's going to be a solar flash. As you can tell, look at the solar flashes going on. All these that are coming. We had two today. One that was 2.8 and a 3.7, which is not much. I think it was last Friday's. I think it was last Friday's was a 9.7, and we haven't had one since like 1996 or 1997, like
Yeah.
that. So they're intensifying a lot. And a lot of people down here. I live down here in South Florida. The humidity isn't what it used to years past. So it's sort of like it's sort of becoming almost similar, sort of, to Las Vegas,
Hmm.
okay, or the desert out there, in California, Arizona, where you don't sweat, but it feels like how do you say it, a blow dryer around your body. Now, it's not a blow dryer, but of course, because here it's humidity, but it's not as humid as it is before. But yeah, just to let you know that that's because of that sun right there. The sun is raising its vibration frequency, and with Gaia and all the other planets, they co-align together, and each one has an entity within it, not the moons, of course, and they're working together so that this can happen. When that sun does that solar flash, it's for all of us to open up our third eye.
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
Lalo, how
There,
you
there
doing?
is there is no climate crisis. Just to let you know, that's all BS. It's just to get people to buy electric cars,
Well,
and
Yeah.
then they control you with the electric cars, because
I,
if you
I,
don't.
I had figured that already, like that there was no real such thing. Because when you really pay attention, I feel like if it was like really global warming or something like that, then every year the world would progressively get warmer. You feel me? Like every year it'd just be getting warmer and warmer. But what we actually see instead is a fluctuation in different areas of how the weather works. And that makes me feel like somebody's controlling this shit.
Yeah, and nothing has changed. The world goes through its natural cycles, just like our seasons. It nobody wants to talk about that. We've already gone through an ice age, and then a warming up period, and then probably more or less back to an ice age. Which will happen over time, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see it warming
yeah.
up
The last yeah, that's true. The last ice age happened because it was getting too hot. It got so damn hot, then the ice age happened. So it's a 12 to 13,000 year cycle, roughly, more or less. Okay, so we're in that 12,000 year range right now. Okay, so I know we've changed different calendars and stuff. So yeah, it's off by several years, but yeah, the Mayan calendar was supposed to be 2012, but we're off about, like, 10, 12 years or so, roughly. So yeah, we're on target. It's supposed to be either next year or the following year, roughly, more or less, but it's up in
right.
the air. But yeah.
And barefoot, I somewhat agree with that, but not. It wouldn't be the reasons that they're giving you. It's not for man made purposes. Like it's not being caused by us.
I, I felt like that about
It's
the eclipse. I felt
it's
like that
an
about the eclipse entirely. I feel like with the eclipse they've been pulling some shit for like centuries with that shit where they just make people think that it's something different than what it actually is, and it's
yeah.
caused by something different. And like with all the celestial bodies, like they had ample time. A person that's controlling, because human beings don't live long enough to be able to keep up with all the information, and somebody knows this, and that means somebody is the holder of all this information for over years. You feel me? And I feel like whoever has that type of power is in control of, like, you know what I'm saying, determining a lot of what we think we know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why when if you realize it, it gets so hot that the Earth has to cool itself down. That's where Gaia, that's where there's an entity, and people don't realize that it's a crystal core in the middle. And we're crystalline beings. We're made of crystals, and we need crystals. Crystals are tools for us. And we get to Christ consciousness, not Christ or Christos, Christ. Everything deals with crystals, so plain and simple. So, but yeah, people don't realize, well, there is a crystal core because they even said it in the Egyptian times. That's why if you guys remember Nimrod, that's why when you said, "Oh, you're stupid, Nimrod," because the reason being is that they dug all the way to the crystal core and screwed it up, and Gaia had to fix it. It took her like thousands of years to fix it. You know what I'm saying? To fix the idiocracy, well, over 1,000 years, excuse me. We could say 2,000s, yeah, roughly. So about 2,000 years, and she had to fix the problem. You know what I'm saying? So, and it wasn't easy as well. Plus with the Matrix, the Matrix, of course, by the Archons, and we're in a matrix within a mega matrix. But yeah, with the Earth and so on and so forth. Yeah, sooner or later, when it gets too hot, it has to be a cold period. So like, an ice age. There you go.
What do you think is going? What do you think was going on with Russia when they decided that they was going to build that? Like they were going to dig that supposed like world's deepest hole. Like, what do you think was going on with that? Because when they supposedly had struck water, right, and they were telling us that the Earth has a lava core. Then they switched it to crystal core. Then they switched it to it's an ocean in the middle of the. You feel me? And it seemed like they don't really know what's going on. But like what they tell us in the past, like I feel like the most important thing to look out for is contradictions, because contradictions are more valuable than proof. When it comes down to proof, it's really hard to prove stuff to people who can just simply deny. But when it comes down to contradictions, it's like, okay, yeah, you for sure said that, but now you're switching it up. You feel me? And like a
Yeah.
while back, they when they dug as deep as they did, they found liquid water. Now today you'll hear them talk about how it wasn't regular water that they found. It was more like crystallized water and different stuff like that. And it's like it's really hard to believe them when during that time they were like they actually said that they found regular ass water.
Well, there's a water table underneath us. There's a primary water. So there's going to be water under everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a crystal core, then the magma, and then everything else that, of course, that it
Yeah,
says.
yeah,
But they don't.
they
They
got
didn't want to say the crystal core because they didn't want you to start realizing, oh, crystal core, crystals. Oh, we should get crystals. What
right.
happens when you get crystals? It starts helping you get a higher consciousness or for protections. So the less information, the worse, the better it is, for the parasites.
Right. That makes sense.
Why don't you ever, why don't you ever hear anything about primary water? And primary water is fresh water.
I was hearing that our bodies aren't composed of the same water that we put inside our body. You know what I'm saying? We actually pee that water out and different stuff like that. I
Right,
heard.
it's structured water.
Yeah, it has a crystalline structure. I heard the water in our body does, and the water that we drink doesn't.
Yep. Yep. You're right. You're right. That's why, and with if you were gonna choose between water from your faucet or water that you would get from like fruit, it would be better to drink, or make water from fruit or extract it because it's structured water.
Right. Exactly.
Or
They
you can get water from trees, water from cactus plants.
right. Yeah, water from cactus plants. I always wanted to drink some water from a cactus plant. That sounds like, I don't know. Sounds like living. Dude, y'all are real interesting. It's rare, and it's bad that we are so scattered about the world. You feel me? That we can't just come together. We ain't just like people who can just, hey, you're right next door or nothing like that. We just
Hey, I'm in Miami, Florida. So, I have met some people that we were in the same lives for like 2 or 3 months, and then I found out that they're within an hour or an hour and a half of me, or even 2 hours. You know what I'm
that's
Nice.
saying?
dope.
So yeah.
That's dope.
And
It's
and
good.
I met a several, and even others that were in South Carolina, but they travel on a traveling carnival, and they were down here for 5 weeks. So I got to see them for 5 days a week, and we
Yeah,
hung out, and we're best friends.
I
So
feel
yeah.
like if they gonna get rid of TikTok, our next our available option would be to like start meeting up in person for real.
Yeah, no, but they're not going to do that TikTok through a lawsuit. And there was someone else that was throwing a lawsuit. If you do the research of it, yeah, there's no way, because it's against the Congress cannot write laws for any particular country, for any particular company. I have something like that. I can't remember it right now, but it's winnable, it's doable. So it's just going to take time and stuff like that. So, and also TikTok is making another app. It's called TikTok Notes. So in
Mhm.
reality, and it's going to be all USA. And it's all already under, that what they're
Okay.
doing is they're using what the elites, the parasites, how they do their shell companies. It's the same
Right.
thing. They just make a brand new company that is owned here in the US, and it's a USA company, and it's called TikTok Notes, and TikTok will go under TikTok Notes. That was that's their backup plan. But the lawsuit should be able to go through. There shouldn't be any problems. And there's many other lawsuits by creators that are doing their own lawsuits also as well.
Right. Yeah. Now I believe that because I don't see how that's not a violation of like freedom of speech. Like it is where most people are collectively getting together and sharing
Yeah.
information and stuff. So I don't see how it's not a violation.
Yeah, that's a violation right there. Congress can't tell, for someone, you're violate it's a violation of rights. You can't tell any business to that. If they did that, why TikTok? Why not Facebook?
Exactly.
Why not the other ones? That's
You know
why they're
what's sick
going after
about
them.
those sites?
Right.
Like they're telling you though, these are places where they're talking about fact check this, fact check that. I feel like it's extremely. I don't know. Like people must think that you got to be a real dumbass to like have to for them to have to for you to need them to have to tell you what's true and what's not true. Like that hasn't
Facts.
always been a thing. Why is that just now really happening between like 2019 and different stuff like that, where they're trying to tell us what we should be believing and what we shouldn't as grown ass adults, like fully mature
Well,
adults. Makes no
well,
sense.
first ask yourself what era did it start in? It started in the whole C, finish the word, era where they took complete control of everybody in the public sector and took all rights away for a period of time.
Dude, since that happened, matter of fact, like now that we on the topic, I don't know about anybody else, but since 2019, where that shit started really like popping off, like I've been noticing that every year consecutively, time has sped up a little bit more. I don't know about anybody else, but I've been getting that feeling like it's like as soon as I lay my ass down and go to sleep, I'm up again. I'm up again, and somehow I'm feeling fully energized and everything like that. But it's like, damn, where did time go? And
Yeah.
it's been happening to me for like that, like more and more every year. And I know some people be like, "Yo, well, that's just normal. You're getting older and stuff." But it's been weird because it was like for the entire duration of my life so far, that hadn't been a thing. But as soon as 2019 happened, like
So you want to
consecutively,
you want to hear something cool, Pedro?
yo, what's up?
So I at one point thought the same thing, but you have the ability to actually slow it down back to what it sorry, back to what you know as normal, and that's just keeping track of the little things, being more in tune with the little things, and spending more time with them. And it will feel like time is back to normal. Just take your time. Don't be so eager to get somewhere. Don't be so eager to do something that is important. Do your important things, of course, but just enjoy the little things as well and take more time with them.
That's real. I've been feeling like more. It's because I'm learning more to accept myself. I'm understanding things more around me, and like the less you perceive things as being good or bad, right or wrong, like the more the like you feel me. The more you wait, the less you judge things, the less you perceive things as being good or bad, right or wrong. And I think that that plays a large factor in my life just going a lot more smoothly. And it could be because I feel like my life is going more smoothly that time feels like it's just suddenly speeding up because I can care less what a person has to, what judgment a person can cross by me or what, you know what I'm saying, what they got to say about me, what ridicule or say. And it just, I guess it just makes things a lot smoother, like not having to worry about family members and stuff and trying to cater to every person like individually.
right? And it might work differently for somebody else. So like you saying that, the way you perceive things has changed. So the way that you operate in your everyday life, it's like you don't pay attention to the things that you used to.
Right.
Um, which, man, me too. I have to agree. Um, but uh, don't be in enveloped in those relationships that used to, but still be involved in them. I think that will help you kind of slow down things. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right, absolutely. That's true. That makes sense. That makes sense.
And it, like I said before, sometimes the conversations that we have with these people, just knowing what we know now, on a different level of energy, all this, knowing what's in our foods. Sometimes we have this ability to not want to talk to them, which I can completely understand, man. I get in those conversations. And like I said, the only things that you can think about is what actually is going on. And these people are just spitting off about nonsense sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to make an effort to maintain relationships. That's all. And
Exactly. I've been feeling like that a lot because I haven't been feeling like I've been losing myself, but like I feel like I've been losing more people, and maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing because maybe I'm getting rid of false energies that I didn't know was false at first. So it's like the more I learn not understand things, like the more angry the world, in the world tends to get around me because it's like I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm not gonna lie, not gonna sugarcoat about it because I realize when you do that type of thing, more people feel comfortable. They're always comfortable with you agreeing with whatever they got going on and different stuff like
yeah,
that. But if you came to your own ideologies and your own perspectives on things and you start putting that out there, everybody's mad. All of a sudden, this is all you talk about and different stuff like that. You feel me? Like, but they're comfortable with always talking about the things that's always going on as long as it's popularly accepted, and they never care about that type of thing. So this
yeah,
just for me, that just let me know that I hadn't been voicing myself enough. Like, I don't feel like I had been voicing myself enough, and to get these people so comfortable with the way that things are that they feel like I shouldn't have a different idea, a perspective.
opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I get you 100%. A person that has recently came back as a relationship is my mom. We really didn't spend a lot of time together, and she spent a couple days with us not too long ago. And I recently, I don't want anything to do with like doctors. I'm really taking on the natural path, incorporating things into my daily routines that help me, as far as either taking natural supplements instead of vitamins from a store, um, plant based things, things that we can use on this earth that were meant for us, meant to maintain our bodies. And the one thing that my mom always brings up about any kind of ailment is, oh, go to the doctor, do
yeah.
this with the doctor. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I know what happened a
Sharon?
couple years ago. I don't want anything to do with a doctor. I will do anything in my power to figure out what is either wrong with me, my children, my wife, and then I'll go
Yes,
that route
sir.
before I go talk to a doctor. But the thing is I can't bring this up
Oh,
to her,
I know, right?
because she discards it. She
That's the
uh
worst. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I keep quiet, and then when she's gone,
Disregards.
I bring it back up. Me and my
I'll be
wife
talking
talk about
again.
it. You know,
Well, when she
Sandy, how are
I'll
you
be talking
doing?
again.
Oh, hi.
Real talk. I felt that.
Hi there, everybody.
So
How you doing?
my point is these these certain relationships may be hard to maintain in that sense, but I think they're still important to maintain. Just don't, like I said, don't get enveloped in them. Don't make them change. Don't let them change your outlook and the way that you perceive things,
Oh,
because the way
no,
that
no,
we
no.
perceive things are
Yeah.
actually more correct than what how they're perceiving it. And we've tried to talk to them before. At least I have, but
Yep, and
she
we
My
can't.
disregards.
mom does not care. Look, my mom does not care. Like she'll tell me how she understands. I'll be thinking like, yo, maybe she does actually understand and stuff. But then she'll turn around and hit me with the same thing. But it's what we have to do. But it has to be like that. And it just lets me know that some people like they get older, but they never grow. Like growth is about what you can accept a lot of times.
Right.
Too, that a lot of people can't accept that you are willing to accept and also
Yeah.
utilize. You know what I'm saying in your day to day life. This means if you're that type of
I
person,
didn't get to grow till the last 2 years. After three, you know what? 3.5, really.
And
Because I didn't know.
just to add on to that, Pedro, like certain things that we deal with, like say the court system. People get involved with the court system, for whatever reason, and then they try something that they heard, things with the
Yeah, that
UCC
don't work.
connection, things with our straw man,
right,
and they get denied by it, and so they're like, oh well, there goes that, and they don't try again.
right, yeah. They're like
That's another issue too. you know
afraid to lose. And now that you say that, like when I back to like just answering my own question when it came down to the thing about like time and how it feels like it's speeding up, it could be my new outlooks, my newfound outlooks on death. You feel me? Because I don't believe that we die. Like you feel me? I believe that the human soul is immortal and all these other things. And I think that maybe taking on that perception like changed time for me, like intensely.
right.
Like yeah, just because when you thinking that you're gonna die or whatever, you start having all these ideas about like what you need to be doing before you die. At what point should I feel like I'm a successful person or not a successful person? And you start thinking about all these things without the concept of death at all. Like I think time probably just speeds up. Like it's just like hey, now you're more focused on just doing you and like you know what I'm saying, progressing as your own person, as your own individual.
Yeah. Yeah. On point, man.
Yeah, so
On point, man. I can't add nothing to that.
yeah, like I've been really thinking about that. Like once you like I'll be thinking about like yo, well, how everything that I do, I'm worried about how it gets judged and what time limit I might have to be able to fix something. I'm thinking about the Drake song YOLO, talking about something you only live once. It's like yeah, well, maybe that's not true. Maybe that's the model we got to stop living by. But at the same time, when I think about it, it's like once you take out the concept of death, it would make time kind of go faster for you because you're not looking forward to death.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, time flies.
Yeah, time starts flying when you're actually living, like you're really living, and you're not concerned about having to die, like you know what I'm saying, and being forever gone in that type of shit.
Well, everyone, it is 3:37 here in Miami, Florida. So you all have a wonderful good morning and or evening, and you all have a wonderful day and have a good night's sleep. Truth, always a pleasure. You got to come
Hey,
on.
Ben.
You got to come on more, man.
I know. I
Gotta
know.
come back on more truth.
Like I said,
I
treats are
know. I
treats
just
are
saw you
only
and
good
it
once
came
in a
on.
while. But
Okay, but
hey,
yeah,
Special
but it's been
treat.
like 3 weeks, man. Yeah, at least
it's been
once a
longer,
week.
bud.
Special treat.
Almost a month.
All right, there you
I,
go.
I
Once a week would
appreciate
be good.
everybody that came into the panel. I appreciate
Truth
y'all.
repeater. His
Yeah,
other
you're.
account was creeping me out. So,
Hey,
that
Ben,
other
you got
account, I'm
if
like,
if
what?
you're leaving right now, you got
Oh,
to do the good morning, good evening, and good night. Do the
Good night.
Vietnam. Good morning.
Good morning,
no.
Vietnam. So wait, hold on.
Love it.
Dude, that's impressive.
All right, hold on. No, I got more. I got
God, I'm
more.
outside.
I got more.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
hi, Miss
impressive.
Kamuska Mickey Mouse. Good evening, good morning, and good night. Yes.
No.
Yeah. Well, God, whoa, wait there, guys. Stop hogging up all the fun. It's
Oh
good morning, good
my
afternoon, and
gosh.
good evening. Oh, yep.
You're-
Then there's yeah, what's up, Doc? You got my carrots because it's morning time, and then afternoon and evening, you got my carrots, Hi, hey, mama, let's have some fun, yay, la 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 la. I'm a pink gangster, yay! Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
That's not bad.
Oh yeah.
Not bad
Oh
at
wait,
all.
I could do a lot more, but last one. So we'll do. Oh yeah, Scooby Dooby Doo,
Raggy.
Scooby. Why no? Whoa, whoa! It's good morning, and afternoon, and good evening. Why no? Whoa, whoa.
That's hilarious. Hey, love y'all. I appreciate
Yeah,
y'all having me up on the panel and everything.
yeah.
Always, Pedro. I'll probably be shutting down in about 20 minutes. I got to get some sleep too, but we'll be on
Yep,
for
already.
another 20.
That's where I'm headed. I got some priority stuff to handle in the morning, unfortunately.
Yeah, bud. You have a good night, man. Thanks for
All
stopping
right.
up.
Take
Y'all
care,
too.
everyone. Love
Thank
you
y'all.
all. Take care, man.
Love.
Good night.
So, everybody. Oh, look at that. Who come in? Oh, no. I thought that was,
Yeah, you just
Flat
got
Earth
nothing but the
Truth.
ladies.
That is so funny. Can you hear me, Truth?
Yeah, I can hear you, Maria.
So I tried to talk earlier,
There we go.
but I couldn't get a word in.
Oh, yeah, we were kind of going
I
where,
know, huh?
I think I heard you for a second, but everybody was going pretty good, so I
I
couldn't.
know. I was like, okay, I'll just be in the background.
Oh my
But
gosh, I was on my patio laughing so hard I had to put my mic off. And it's 12:40 right now. Oops.
You know, I know everybody says I
That
should
was
have
funny.
lives more often. Well, the thing is I notice that when I spread them out like this, the lives that I do have, they're much more substantive. There's
More people
more
come in.
conversation, more people come in.
Yeah.
Than if I
Right
have
on.
one every night after work, which is it's nice to have them like that sometimes in certain situations. But when they're more spread out like this, I see that people are like, oh, look who's on, and then they'll jump in. If I keep it more
Yeah,
spread
right on.
out, I mean that's what I have noticed. But so
Yeah.
that's my reason for spreading them out, and I'm very busy. I have 3 kids, so
Yeah.
and my girls are a handful. I tell you that right now.
Oh my goodness.
mhm.
Girls, you do have 2 or 3?
I have 2 girls and a boy at home.
And a boy. Yeah, right on.
Yeah, so my
Oh,
girls keep me busy.
right, the girls. Yep, because the boys were easy for me. 2 of
Oh
them.
man,
I'm glad
my
I think.
boy when my wife goes out to like the store or something, right? I'll keep the boy and man, we just hang out. We just do whatever. I usually get. He's
Oh,
little. He's little.
cool.
He's a
Yeah.
little baby, so he's very easy to please.
Oh.
Now my
Yeah,
girls, on the other
right
hand,
on.
it's about every 20 seconds, and they're asking me for something different.
Right. Girls. How old are your girls?
3 and 5.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Heck
gosh, you're at
yeah.
the
Keep you
stage where
busy,
they're
huh?
just babies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got all 3 baby. Well,
Still growing. Oh, you just wait. 2 of them.
I've
Oh
told
my
you. Oh,
lord.
I know you're not kidding. So I have the 3 5-year-old, and then the baby. He's only a year old. But now there's another one that
Oh, your
lives with her
boy's only a
mom.
year old. Yeah.
My other daughter
Okay.
is 14 now, and she lives with her
Oh
mother.
wow. Right on.
So I have a
Yeah.
teenager and then 3 pretty much babies.
Oh,
So
you've got.
Yeah, wait till she's
Oh,
17.
you've
Just
got them
wait.
all.
oh,
You've got them all. How are you even on here? Right?
I know, right?
The time.
That's your sanctuary.
Oh.
That
Gotta
that's
have
why I
time for
can't.
yourself though, too.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Well, and that's another reason why
Yeah.
I can't be on here as much as I'd like to sometimes.
I
Yeah.
know. Every time I invite you, you're like, I can't. I was like, all right, next live, next live.
I,
That's awesome.
it's really got to be the right time. Unfortunately,
Right. When they're
but I
sleeping.
mean, it's not. It's yeah, right. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
unfortunately. It's my life, and I'm very grateful for it.
That's very awesome. That's right.
Well, the thing I was trying to
I miss
jump
my kids
on,
being little.
I do
Go
Go
ahead,
too.
ahead.
Maria.
When you guys were talking
Yeah.
about skin color, I don't know who was here. I don't know if Sandy or Sharon or I think Amelia, I don't know who was that's left.
I
But
wasn't here. What
no,
happened?
and there's a thing called the Fitzpatrick. So I don't know if you've ever heard the Fitzpatrick scale, but that's
No,
exactly what there's 6 on the scale. So it's Fitzpatrick 1 through 6, and that determines what your skin and your melanin is. So as an esthetician, I have to know because of lasers, because
mm,
the melanocytes that are in skin. If I'm doing a laser hair removal and someone has blonde hair, but their Fitzpatrick is like a 2, that doesn't mean that the laser is going to detect the hair melanin because it only goes off of melanin. So it won't even work. So I
right.
realized, where did they come up with the 6, right? And did you know that if, I mean, I don't know if anyone, but Asian and African American skin is on the same, they're both on the scale as number 6?
That is interesting
Isn't it interesting? So it's
because
been like,
so even with the basic now, because I until now I
mm-hmm,
didn't even know about this, but just knowing about basic lasers. So lasers are lights, and they work off of glare and frequency. So if something's a different color or a different tone, kind of
mm-hmm,
like the dews that we had to deal with, they can't penetrate or they can't reflect on certain colors. And it's the same concept, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't want the laser to change the skin color. You just want it to do its job and focus on what it does, which is the the hair removal.
Flat Earth Trooper. Yeah. How are you doing?
Doing
Oh, our
okay.
tap. You got here late. I got like
Sorry, I was having a history lesson
no,
following the
you're
book
good.
because it knows
You,
all. You need to go in there and
I'm,
watch him. We were talking about the giant tree stumps that are all over the planet and how they're destroying them. Yeah.
no, sorry, Maria. Go ahead. I was listening, but Flat Earth Trooper came in, so I had to give her a little
Yeah, no.
introduction.
Can you still
What's
hear
up?
me?
Hey
Yeah,
Sharon,
you're
hey
good.
Sandy,
Oh,
hey
because I don't
Maria.
see my
I hear you.
box, but that's okay. I thought I got cut off. My box is gone.
Hillary's
Yeah, that's
here.
weird. TikTok's been weird.
Yeah, they don't
Isn't
want us
that
to play
weird?
together. They don't want us to play together.
They
No.
don't.
They don't. And the people that know, we're getting disconnected, and my DM has been backed up. I finally got it caught up, and now we got about 300 new people that want to follow me. That's going to take a couple of days. Good God. They just keep me going. Always on the clock. Tick tock, tick tock. Ugh. I'm so sick of it. Technology is frustrating and aggravating.
It's crazy.
It's very crazy. Oh, yeah, that Nikki girl went into her live day. She kicked me out. I'm gone. I ain't going back. She kissed my ass, too. Fuck her.
Thanks, Hillary.
Thanks.
Hillary with the humping leg.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
she
humping
always
my
humping,
leg.
ain't she? Yeah, well, she ain't gonna be humping for long. She's
You
gonna
know
be the
what,
first one on the Gitmo list.
Flat Earth Trooper? I'm staying on just a little bit longer just because you showed up, all right?
Well, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. You're the only one that listens, except for Bullet. The rest of them, they don't have a clue. And they get mad because they don't understand. And then they kick me out of the box. Well, it's okay. I'll sit down and chat and talk crap about you the whole time if you want. It's all right with me. Because somebody's going to wake up. Somebody's going to hear the truth. Somebody's going to realize I ain't lying. And they TikTok, I kept appealing 1 hour after hour for 9 hours. So they said, you did not spew any misinformation in that live.
How's it
Because I was
going,
talking
Mitch?
about what my own personal experiences. I have a medical record that'll back up everything I stated. So they can't sit there and say I lied because TikTok said I didn't. And I'm verified. I'm bona fide now. Bona fide. You know that movie? Oh, yeah, I'm bona fide. Yeah, fuck them all, man. Fuck them all. They don't give a shit. They don't matter to me. And that's why I ain't spending time in their chat. And I'm not going to tap that screen for them. And they ain't going to get no likes. And they ain't going to get no gifts. And they can just stay there in their little cruddy little chat room. Because they're not going to rise. And that's what they want to do, but they don't know how. Because they don't have an open mind. And
Well,
everything I say.
they think that they are, you know, in their own little
Well, they're
way.
not. And they're deceived too, you know, because they're indoctrinated still.
Yeah.
You know, they
They
say
think
they're open-minded, but
they
they're
think
not.
going to a university is gaining something when they're
Well, where
losing
did that
everything
money
in
come
reality.
from to fund that education? And then remember, the people that fund the education, they have an agenda. They always
Yeah.
have an agenda, and an agenda still continues today. That's why everything's fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah, and all the ones that they sit in there, the flat earthers, you know, that's the whole hook I had for getting a TikTok, you know, was, okay, I'm going to prove all these fuckers wrong. It's not even flat, really, if you think about it. We're in a bubble, people. We've always been in a bubble. We're on the earthly plane. Yes, it's level, it's flat, and it's sturdy. It doesn't move. Any movement
Yeah.
is done by the manipulators, okay?
Yep.
Yeah. That's it, and they can't believe it. They just can't believe it. Where's the evidence? Well, you got all you got all the equations, you got all the figures, you got all the models, but none of it you can make it math. None of the math is mathing, and that's what's wrong. They're so confused, and they got this thing called a Pulitzer Prize. You know, you can win all these gifts, all these big monetary prizes, and that's what they're all looking for. They're trying to get that funding to prove that they don't know what they're talking about. It's really weird. It's really weird. And now all the flatterers, I'm sorry, people, but you all just keep flapping them lips. And all I hear is a gnat flying around my head. I just want to swat you out of chat, too. Because you don't know what you're talking about. That's why they can't explain it. There is no curvature. None whatsoever. It's called an optical illusion. You see it on the roads in the desert. When you're going down and you see it's floating. Then you go out in the water, it's floating. But that's the curvature they see, but they can't measure it because there is none.
And it's a contradiction in itself, because if they're seeing curvature from ground, from, you know, an observer point from 6 feet off the ground, but you can't see curvature at 120,000 feet, and they don't understand that's impossible.
Well, the figures and their experiments and stuff, they don't do experiments. That's the problem. None of
they
them
just
have
listen
a
to
compass.
people.
None of them have a compass or a telescope or a lantern and a boat. All they got to do is get on top of a dang, what do they call them, lighthouse with a telescope. Have somebody out on a boat go as far out they can get with a lantern and zoom in and look at it. Just look through the telescope. You're going to see flat Earth. And the light source is always above us. Don't get that twisted either. It's not a million miles away either. They're right above us. And they just rotate around. They swirl around like water. That's all it is. But the North Star is always constant.
You know, I think the way that they get some of these people, so I think, in my opinion, that it's both. So our land is topographical, flat. But the if you want to call it the firmament, the barrier around us is round.
The bubble. Exactly. It's a dome, and that's why no rockets can go over. And the big thing in 1986, the Challenger, they had a TV on in my science class. I watched the whole thing happen. Well, guess what? All those people, they're professors now and getting paid top dollar to keep the perpetual law alive.
Yep.
I got pictures of all that on my cell phone once I can get the screen fixed. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, they all look so smug in their cushy jobs and their cozy offices. But I thought they were dead the whole time, but they were not. That's a big lie. Well, we were traumatized, and the teacher let it happen. He let us watch it. It's supposed to be for educational purposes only, wasn't it?
If it was what? What's that?
It was for educational purpose only in the science class that day. when they flipped on the
Right.
TV and watched the Challenger go up. Yeah, well, that happened, and that was very traumatizing for a lot of us because we believed that we were going to go to the moon one day because we didn't believe that the first moon landing happened because it didn't. It was in a
So
pool, in a swimming pool.
they
Yeah,
traumatized a bunch
it's
of
laid
people
out there.
from the watching the
Right.
Challenger, right? And
Oh my
now
God, you don't know how many times
you can
I don't know how many
research
times I thought about that
and
school teacher. She was the first school teacher, Christy.
yeah.
Well, she's a professor now,
Isn't that crazy too?
nutty
Every time
professor.
I meet a Christian that thinks that the world is round, I'm
Oh
it's like
Lord,
wow. It's like even even reading a
you
Bible,
don't even read
you'll
the
get
book, do you? At
yeah,
least you get
right.
the hint there.
Like what are you basing your religion on? Because it's not the book that you claim it to be.
Yeah, well, it's been redacted, and on the King James version, he wrote another
Oh
book
yeah,
about demonology and how to conjure spirits and demons, and
yeah.
yeah, you want to read that book? I don't think so. Go further back, and as far back as you can go. Archive.org has everything you need, all the
Well,
sacred texts from everywhere,
they've been
all over
scared
the world.
to look outside of it. That's the
They don't
problem.
want
And
to because they're afraid of what they might see.
oh, yeah,
And they don't want to dig
that too.
research, and I
Yeah.
understand that, but you need to do your own research.
Well,
Don't
they're
listen to
told
me
that.
because I can't tell you anything. Everything I say is a lie.
Yeah,
Okay?
and
So go
Isn't it
they're
like
find
a
it yourself.
silo? It's almost like we live in a silo. We don't know what's on
We
the other
do.
side.
right.
Yeah, exactly. We're all
Just a
trapped up
big
in here.
silo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a
And even
show.
it's a show.
There's a show. It's called Silo. You got to look it up. And it literally was like they put them underground, and then they use these cameras that if they go to the other side that they get killed. But what they did is they put these, I think, poison in their suits just to keep them
Oh, have to.
controlled. So if
Right.
they have to go outside, there is nothing on
Yeah.
the other side, but it's like almost like we're in the firmament, right? But the
Right.
silo is what's on the other side of the firmament. It's just
What's that on?
I think it's Netflix.
I
It's
don't have that. I don't get streaming stuff like that. I buy
okay.
information stuff like Gaia, and then there's another institute that all they do is teach free
I don't
classes.
have it
Go at your
either.
own speed. It's called what's it called? Something Academic Hill or something. Anyway, you can go on there and you take the classes. You pay for the whole year subscription, but you go in there and you learn what you want to learn. And
Okay.
they leave everything open minded. They don't come to conclusions. They let you draw your own conclusion. And I mean, it's well worth it. It's like $400 a
Mm-hmm.
month or a year. I mean, but I mean,
Ouch.
for $400
I know.
a year for an education, that's not too bad now, is it? Like cheaper than what they're wanting to
Right.
indoctrinate with a bunch of lies. Better go learn
Yeah.
myself.
Well,
Education's
what
a
can't
wonderful
you?
thing if you do it yourself.
Everything that you can learn in a university is available to you right at your fingertips.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Nobody wants to learn because they want the degree. Well, go learn and forget the degree. There's people out there that'll pay you to do research for them, and they'll pay well if
Yeah.
you already have the information in your head.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I'm
I
working
think
on right now. I'm working with several researchers all over the world. One in India right now because he's going around to all the old temples, the ones that are off the beaten path that no one go to anymore because they've been damaged. All the ancient bells are gone. There used to be ancient bells there too. So that's why a lot of them have not, you know, continued to following the pilgrimages. And there's one that he was in last week. It's a newer temple, and it's not like the Tartarian buildings, with the copper domes where you can get the electricity out of the ether. But I do have an image of that on one of my posts. It's in Myanmar, and it's still activated. They're still pulling the electricity out of the air. So that city is well kept. But the newer temple he was showing me is a very small dome. There's hardly any copper on it at all, and there's no electricity around it at all. So it's deactivated. It's just there for show. But yeah, they keep perpetuating that. You think about all the ancient buildings. Why is it that we get boxes now and nothing beautiful? Because they don't want you to, they
you
don't
know.
want you to know how beautiful life can be. They want you to
So you
be
know what's
dumb.
crazy, Flat Earth Troop? So even
Well,
before I learned everything that I learned,
Right.
recently, and what actually is going on, I
Uh-huh.
always had the question in my mind, why aren't things actually advancing?
They're not. They're making it less because they don't want you to learn. Because see, the next reset, they're going to make them really stupid that time, and I'm not going to be here for that because I already know. So yeah, it's that way for a reason. It's always a
They're just
design.
keeping us dumbed down like we don't
Exactly.
know.
I know, Sandy. Do you see? Do you? I have not watched mainstream TV in so long, but the last time I looked,
I
every
haven't in
show was
almost
on
two
there.
years.
All the shows that are on TV are so stupid. I mean, they feed you stupid stuff and they think it's entertaining. It's
Yeah.
not entertaining.
Yep. It's
It's very
not. We
dull
used to
and
think
boring, and
so.
I
I
don't
used
learn
to think
anything.
so, okay? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Are you kidding
How many
me? I
people
feel like a
actually watch
fool.
TV now?
I don't. I watch internet and I read.
I know.
That's it. I
I don't
watch
watch
documentaries.
anything. I either read or I'm on here. Yep.
Yeah, same here, Sandy.
This is my TV. This is my TV.
I learn more
And
from
it's
my
more
TV
Yeah,
exciting
shows
this
than I
way.
like
learn from
what's
Like,
going
anybody
on with
else.
all
you
the
learn
sharks?
so
Does
much. You
anyone know what's
just
going on with all the
learn.
sharks by Florida?
What happened?
The sharks, they're on the freaking beach. They're coming up like Destin.
Who's
There's
What?
talking?
million.
Oh,
They're
How are they
literally,
acting?
really?
they're
Are they
Are you
like?
jumping.
in Florida?
No, but we came back from
Okay.
Destin, and I have a ton of people that were supposed to go to Miami, and there's just sharks that are coming up on the
Uh-uh.
shore, like they're not supposed to
Whoa,
be
no,
there.
I hadn't heard that.
Maria,
Wow.
Maria.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right there,
geez, here we
where the sharks
go.
are coming up. What is on the outskirts there in the water? Are there any oil rigs or
Yeah.
anything out there? Because I've been doing a deep
What
dive
is
on
in
that.
the water that's
what's
doing
in it?
this?
Like it should be
Yeah,
coming, like the
Mm-hmm.
Loch Ness. Did you see those videos on the Loch Ness that they got?
I did. Do you
Mm-mm.
think
Oh,
that's a
you
real
did?
video though?
I don't know. I'm trying to find multiple
I know
just to
you don't
back it
know
up.
these days. It's hard because of AI and stuff. Ah.
Yeah.
We're more
But
intelligent than the researchers, if you really get my drift, because we watch and we look for everything. We look for everything every day, and that's a frustrating thing for me because they keep stuff
mm-hmm.
hidden. So I've had to go to browsers in different countries because they got more information about our country than we do. And I've learned a
Then
lot of
we
stuff.
do. Yep.
But I'm also
Yep.
wondering, maybe is it fear mongering
See
so
that
then
all
we
the
don't go in
time.
the
Like
water?
Right. Well, I think they're doing something to the water, and I think it has to do with the oil rigs. And that's why I was asking if there was any oil rigs down there nearby because I've seen, I've been talking to this guy. He's on an oil rig, and he's been telling me about how the oil comes up because I wanted to know about that. Yeah, they're messing with it when they pull it up. Even it's like nothing's pure and natural, and you got to remember that our
right.
Earth is a con- condensed version of what it used to be. Everything that's all the material that's died down is compressed, and it becomes some other kind of formation. Well, what is the oil?
Mm.
Think about it. What's the oil? Really, what's the oil?
Yeah, is that really
Very
fossil?
dark,
Like,
is it
what?
not?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's really dark in us? I think it's ancient people. I really do, and I don't have any evidence to prove it. But my God, the stuff I'm seeing,
Yep.
oh my God, it's like they're taking our life force away completely, and they're using it to against us in a way that they manipulate it with frequency, and
They
it's
just don't
changing
give
it.
a crap.
They don't
We're
care, and
pieces
that's
of
because they
shit to
can't
them.
get off of this place. They can't get off this earthly plane, and
And
they're going to take every one
yeah.
of us down with them because
And
that's
I
how they
feel like
make it
Mother
more
Earth is
different.
so upset that if
She's
she's
so upset she's
bringing,
crying. Maybe that's her tears.
That's why
They're
there's
pouring
always
it out of her.
earthquakes.
I don't know. It could be anything. There's so many things that you could call it. But
Well,
Right.
everything they do to this earth is horrible.
yeah, and we all know in this room
Sure
that
is.
the Earth is living.
It
The
is.
planet, what
yes.
Yep.
the Earth itself
That's
is
right.
living. That's why it has.
They're trying to kill her, and the trees are the big thing, and the giant tree stumps like what is it,
Douglas.
Devil's Tower? Those
Yeah,
roots went very deep. Think about the water source there. You know, think about and they've got this project going on. Well, they've had it going on in Canada for the longest time. All these broken up islands and stuff. No, they're not broken up islands. They're freaking ancient tree stumps that they've been breaking up, and I don't know what they're using that for. I don't know what they're using that rock for because it's now rock formation, but it's
Well,
petrified wood.
so let's just go
Yeah.
back a little in time, right?
Right.
And look at something like the redwood forest. Those are big trees as far as what we
Yeah, I've
have
been
right
through
Heck
one.
now in
yeah.
our
Yeah, I've
land,
been through
right?
one.
There's bigger ones
Mm-hmm.
that have been around, but what happened to
Right.
those? The ones that were big got cut down just the same.
They sure
Exactly. Yeah.
did.
Been doing it
In
forever and
Northern
haven't been happy.
California,
I know. I
we
lived out
grew
there. I
up
went through a redwood
camping
tree.
on the northern coast of California, and we used to play on these big, huge, cut down trunks with
Oh
green
wow.
moss all over them. I mean, we used to just climb
Oh.
and walk on them. They were huge.
Oh, Sandy, I bet
And
that
it
was
was like
beautiful.
mystical
Yeah, like
there,
you're
like
on
that,
a stage.
running up and down the hills and stuff in there and stuff. It was just so green and everything. But I remember
Oh,
those big, huge tree trunks that we
yeah,
used to climb over and stuff. It was a
that's
trip.
Well,
amazing.
a lot of the mountains, if you start looking through TikTok and type "woman on a dragon," there's images of a
Oh,
woman
let
on
me
a
write that down.
dragon in the
Yeah, that's the
mountains.
mountain ranges. The mountain ranges are people,
Yes,
ancient
yes,
giants. They're laying
Oh,
down on
we're
their
at?
side. That's where they're sleeping. The
yes.
mountains.
Oh.
That's why I always want to go up to the mountains because you feel so much more up there. The higher the
Hmm.
elevation,
Gosh, and you can breathe
the higher
better and everything.
you sleep better. The air's clearer. I mean, it's everything's better up there.
Yep, that's why we grew up camping. I love going up, you know, this Highway
Where'd you
50
go
and going
camping,
camping.
Sandy?
We just, it was on the Pacific Coast, Northern California,
Right.
past
Yeah.
Bodega Bay, and it was
Oh,
called
it's
Salt
beautiful up
Point.
there. Right.
Oh my gosh, we grew up,
Well, I'm in North Carolina,
camping
and
in
we're
the cold and climbing big rocks on the ocean and catching
yeah.
stuff in the water and stuff. It
Well,
was all, man, just
I'm
being outside.
I'm
That's
near
why
the
I
Blue
love
Ridge
being
Parkway.
outside.
Good
The Blue Ridge
times.
Parkway is the oldest
You where?
mountain range in the United States, in the world. So I mean, it's very
Oh,
ancient.
wow.
Yeah. So you should
Yeah.
go up. You should go up and hike the Blue Ridge Trail, the Blue Ridge Mountains. They got the Appalachian Trail. It's long. It goes from the north to the
Oh,
south,
wow.
and the south to the north.
Yeah.
It's yeah, but it's really long. I can't remember how many hundred miles it is, but you can do it. You know, camp on the way, but I mean, just be up there the whole time. And I'm ready to get healthy to get back up
That
there.
sounds
I
so
Does
miss
good. That
anyone
sounds so
heard
good.
of Serpent's Mount in Ohio?
yes,
Yeah.
And
yes.
do you think
What's it
that
called?
Serpent's
It
Mount?
it's an Indian burial thing.
Serpent's
It's a
Mount.
mound. And it's in the shape of
I write
a
stuff
serpent.
down.
It's
Yeah.
got
Sacred
an
grounds.
egg.
Okay.
Are we
Yeah,
supposed to go there?
Wow.
Or no, should we stay away from there?
stay away for right now because
Wow.
they're doing stuff
Probably
there, and you don't want to be
not.
mixed up in that. Well, the
Right?
government is
Doesn't
they're
sound like.
constantly patrolling that. Anything that's sacred, especially Native
Mm,
American, you got to watch because America is not America. And when everybody figures
mm-hmm.
that out, you need to look towards the guy that I had on or that I was following. Now he's a researcher and he's been doing stuff for a long time. Let's see, it's called Human
Douglas here too. I wish he'd come up. He's good about
Origins
all that. He's very,
Revealed.
very knowledgeable
Okay, now this guy here
about.
is on TikTok. I put it down in the chat. That's the name of
Okay.
his
Okay.
TikTok. He goes live and he's showing all the information. He's up in
Human.
he's got the serpentine rock, the dark green rocks. Um, well, America is not America.
Human.
Okay,
Mm,
if you've been to the
It's
Grand
not.
Canyon,
mm-hmm.
you kind of
You're
know what's
right.
down there.
Mm-mm.
You're
Yeah, we
absolutely
are
right.
Egypt.
You feel.
We're Egypt. We are
Correct.
ancient Egypt. Exactly. Well, he
Mm-hmm.
found up there
Okay.
in
So
Massachusetts. Where does
Gosh,
I
yeah.
have
Biden
a
live?
I
Where does
have an
Biden live?
I have an alternative idea. So I agree with you as far as it being a part of Egypt because I honestly believe that Egypt was a worldwide civilization. It wasn't
It
just
was.
secluded to one area.
Yeah, but there was only one continent at one time. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's called
Okay,
Pangea.
and the
Mm-hmm.
evil one has been manipulating with weather and doing weird things to the ground for a long time. Newest edition's called fracking. Yeah, don't do that. They're just mixing it all up so it's easy to manipulate and move bigger pieces at a time. It's all
Yeah.
an evil scheme, a plan, and it just keeps perpetuating the most darkest depravity that you could even think of. And we all have to pay for it. That's the most wicked thing of all. And it don't matter how we
Gosh,
have
I
to get
wish
that money to them.
Douglas would get up here. I think he left.
Who is it? Douglas Lee? Where'd he go?
Yes.
Come back,
Oh,
boy.
he's very knowledgeable about all this. Oh my gosh.
Come back.
He's awesome. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's I think he's been out of state for a
I don't
while.
follow him, I don't think.
All
I've
that
never
stuff.
seen his image.
But he's one of the people I was supposed to meet here. Because I think I only live like an hour and something away from him, the Bay Area in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
He lived there,
Yeah.
but I think he's kind of been in Oregon and
Right, I want to go to Oregon.
with his
I got a
parents.
friend that lives up there. It's pretty.
Oh, I
Oh,
live.
hey, Random.
What's up?
I'm gonna get me an RV, and I'm just gonna travel around, y'all, and I'm just gonna come see y'all. That's
Rain,
what I'm gonna
rain,
do.
rain. Oh,
I'm not married. I don't need to be.
Sharon, a
I've been married
California
like-
girl moving to Oregon for 5 years. That was not good. Not seeing the sun. Like
Oh, I
maybe
know, all
one
the
day a
rain.
month.
I bet you were depressed all
Oh,
that
it
rain.
rained so much, but it was very, very green. It was beautiful,
It was, and
and
the
I had
air
the
was
best
clean.
job I ever had in there.
Someone
Yeah, it was very
earlier
nice.
was talking about the Jedi. And it reminded
What's
me
that?
of Random. I don't know who it was. I don't know if you ladies were on or if
Oh,
it was Amelia. They were talking about
man.
the original Jedi, and you're bringing up how this is part of Egypt. And I'm wondering if it's all connected because more and more.
It absolutely is. You're on the right track.
Good.
Okay, thank
Does
you.
anybody think that
We are the
Babylon, Mystery
Jedi.
Babylon, is New
What?
York City?
We are all the
Does
Jedi.
anybody?
The people that we're fighting and the ones that are
Oh,
here are Jedi. Jehdi.
So the ones
wait.
is there a certain side? Like if you're from the
ADI.
good side
Oh,
or the
wow.
dark side?
There's the dark side, we're the good side. Don't get that twisted either.
I think you can probably answer that yourself, Maria.
There's
Can't you?
mitochondrions, okay? It's nanotechnology.
Yeah, and I met the woman who made them. Oh, good God.
What?
Yes, my daddy. I told you my daddy was smart. I told you he
Really?
was a Navy boy. He was on aircraft carriers. He was out on
Oh, my dad
Westpac
was
for
in the
6
Navy
months at a
too.
time.
Oh,
He
no, the
found out a lot
Marines.
of stuff out there. A lot of stuff was going on out there on the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And he found her. And he
There's
introduced me to
technology.
her in 2007, people.
There's been technology that we have for a very long time that most
Yeah.
people would
Wow,
consider
111.
absolutely magical, but it's not. It's just technology. Okay, but
Yeah, well,
only
it's
1%.
bad.
Only 1% of the people have knowledge of it because they've been holding it back. Knowledge of the people's knowledge.
They
Yeah.
were told to
Been for
roll up their
thousands of
sleeve
years.
and they'd be all right.
So how do we activate it? Because I know
Well,
You don't want to activate it. You want to deactivate it because it has codes on it, people. It's linked to your mobile phone. You don't want to trust
well,
that.
that's the whole point of coming
Yeah.
together, isn't it? When you come together, you have
She
to
was
have
very mean.
but I thought we're supposed to
willing
activate.
you have to be willing to let your dirty baggage show to you. Yes. So you have to be truthful with yourself.
Right, you have to have authenticity.
Well,
Yes.
I'm very authentic.
That's how life works. That's how the world works. That's how nature works. If you're
Right,
not,
I know how to get them
suppress
out,
it.
though.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm telling you something real.
I know how to get them
If
gone.
you're not going to participate, you're not going to be able to do anything.
No.
But this Jedi is not the Star. This is
I
not
can
what's
barely
portrayed
do
in the
anything.
Star Wars. Like the Star Wars Jedi is different, or like with Anakin.
It doesn't
With the
matter.
We're
dark.
going to really talk about
Principles are the
movies.
same.
I mean, and stories, movies and stories. Is that what we're
Uh-huh.
speaking about?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because that's what everyone goes by, right? It's in
Well,
our
exactly.
face.
So therefore, I present it in a fashion that they wish to see, because people only see what they want.
Exactly. And nobody wants to see anything because their eyes are closed or sleeping. Let the sleeping dogs lie. We got other fish to fry, okay? Let's just do that, because we didn't get nowhere,
I
are we? We're
like that
spinning the
other
wheels.
fish to fry.
We do. We got fish fries down here in the south, and they're really good. I'm ready to have
Yeah.
one. Hey, I'm getting me an RV, girls, because you know what? I just got a
I'll
student
do
loan.
whatever I
I
have
just got a student loan.
to motivate me.
I'm getting an RV. I'm coming to see y'all, and we're gonna have fish fries and all kinds of shit.
Well, don't forget
Yeah.
you gotta come and get me because I have been
Hush
looking for it.
puppies. Some hush puppies.
I expect you guys
Okay,
to.
how many girls am I picking up?
What,
Do we
random?
need to have an
I
RV
said
that
I
big to
expect
begin
you
with? So I'm gonna come get y'all.
and do.
Flattered trooper,
Need a
you don't
list.
get my hopes up.
Who wants to
Everybody
come?
has their little parts, you know. Everybody needs to share their information. Everybody needs to come
Right.
together and start following each other. Nobody's even clicking on each other or following anybody. Like there's like everybody's saying all these words, but nobody's doing it. Look how many people do you follow?
I know.
How many people do I follow?
Well,
How
I've
many
got over
people
I
do you
3,000
I
follow?
get
right now.
over where I can't follow anyone, and then I have to go and clean up stuff
Right.
just so I can
Exactly.
find
That's
them.
TikTok lagging you down. The
Exactly.
TikTok.
I burn out my follows. I burn my follows out because
oh,
I follow everybody, and then I can't save people.
Random, I'm friends with you.
Yeah, I'm
I
friends,
didn't
I'm
know.
friends with thousands of people.
Yeah.
I'm friends with Keanu Reeves.
Me too. All of them.
Oh, you
There's
are.
many. He's
Yeah.
not the one,
Did you
okay?
just
So
say?
don't be confused about that either. He's tried that
Oh
mind game with
wow.
me. All of them have. Each account has tried that shit with me in different apps like
I follow
WhatsApp,
way more people than I'm
Telegram.
followed
Yeah,
by.
I'm
Oh,
that
I
busy
follow
girl.
everybody
Yeah.
on here now.
I follow way
It
more
was
than I
only
follow than I'm
oh,
followed by.
mosquito.
I am a great
I know,
follower.
me too.
One must be a good follower before they can be a good leader.
Yeah, I always max mine out. Even tonight, I'm maxed out until I jump off, and then I
And
have to
people
clean
should
up.
help each other and be tapping on each other and promoting each other and look and actually watching each other's videos. Like, wow, amazing. Like if people would just like look at each other's videos, that would be cool.
That's true. It is true.
Because that's like people worked really hard to do their creations, and
Oh
people don't
yeah,
even
yeah,
watch
yeah.
them. They just click on them and leave. They don't even watch. They just click on them. Look at the analytics on your stuff.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I click out like
No,
by
no,
accident. I'm like,
you
oh
know
my
my
god! Like I
average
look
watch
like
time
I
of
feel
people
like
on
an
my
ass
videos
that I didn't
is
mean
like
to.
4 seconds. That's how long
Like
I spend.
you don't like
That's
it,
the
or I
amount of
didn't get
attention
to
I
even
get.
hear it.
Yeah, I just noticed that too, random.
No, it's absolutely, and you people need to start paying attention, all right? If we're going to be on spending
Yeah.
so much time on this application, why don't people know the options and how this application works? Why don't they know that I'm in charge of this entire application right now? Why
Wait,
don't they
what?
know?
No, I'm
Yeah.
teasing.
Explain
Why
it.
don't
Like,
why doesn't
explain it for
everybody know that
everybody.
I'm the main
Yeah.
creator on this platform?
I don't know,
Yeah.
because you don't tell them.
Well, because I don't have. Should I? Should I have to say something? Or
Maybe.
do I expect people to come and look at my profile and actually look at me and who I am, or just fucking sit there and wait for me to say something?
I don't know. I've been following you since the first day
Well,
They'll
of
we
follow
can't
you,
the
but
see
they
you,
won't
job.
so
talk to
if
you.
you say
Well, I mean,
something,
They
you
then
could
don't
we
look at
just
talk
my
have
to
to
me.
tell
I'm
you.
just
profile.
gonna
No, I'm teasing.
unfollow.
I'm teasing. I'm just joking. Oh
I don't know. Sometimes
no, but
it's
you
just
are right about the
resignation.
time and everything.
Yeah,
Putting into it. Yes,
because you can
I
help each
respect
other
that.
out just
I
by
do.
looking at the videos and
Right.
tapping and just building with the
Yeah.
algorithm. I mean, the algorithm is what helps.
I
But I
got a
know
video
Right.
on how to
sometimes,
do that.
Of course.
Every time somebody
Teach
sees your
you how to do
video,
Let me
it.
see how
you
many
got
I
to do it the
have.
You
same
gotta
way
help each
every
Let
other.
me see
time
how many I have.
in
It's
order for
why
it
I
to hook
designed
up.
it that way. But nobody ever even is paying attention. They just sit around and argue with each other about grains of sand and their religion,
Oh
all these
God, I
things.
know.
I know they're not
Yeah.
It's getting
utilizing
to the
this
point where
app.
we're gonna freaking die,
I
people,
just skip
if we
over
don't have
I
it.
know.
those.
I
I
know we are.
know. Everyone. Oh,
I know.
it's all in their plan. They just want to keep us separated. And then if this thing goes off, we don't have addresses, phone numbers, or even
Nothing.
if we did, what if we couldn't use our phones? So then we got to deal with the people around us that don't
This
have a
platform
clue.
provides a way for
Y'all need to
everybody
get in
to
your
do
addresses in
everything that they
Telegram.
need to be happy.
What did you say,
But
Random?
nobody's even participating. Like the system does not need to be broken. The system simply needs to be rewritten, recoded, and everybody can be happy and
Right?
beautiful. But nobody wants to participate. Everybody wants to sit around and wait for orders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I know.
I'm not here to give any orders.
And
I'm
come on,
here to
cat.
provide solutions. I have solutions. I don't want to sit and argue anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it. And and so is the system.
Yeah.
So either we,
110% random.
yeah,
Yeah.
either we
Every time.
participate
It's
together.
just about communication, not like,
Yes.
oh, ego, or
Either we get along
kills or what,
or
all
we
that
are
crap.
all going to fail. Either we get along or we are all going to
Yeah.
fail. Regardless, I don't care about what your
Right.
issues are. We can deal with your issues because as a humanity, we have the solutions to everything. That's
Ooh,
right.
somebody's
Somebody's
tapping
work-
hard.
That's
Somebody's
right.
working on that random.
We should get some carpal tunnel up on this.
Random.
Yes, ma'am.
Random.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Look down in the chat. Somebody's working on that. Changing
Oh,
the
I know,
algorithm,
I know.
changing the system. You know it.
I'm
Probably.
quite aware. I'm quite aware of how many people are behind this. There's a lot. There's millions of people that are behind this. Okay, we're a federation. We should be a federation. Everybody should be creating
Hey, kitty.
community.
Is it a federation or are we part of the resistance?
We are
Oh,
the
that's my
federation
cat.
of humanity. We are humanity, man. We all come
Oh,
together.
sorry, I took your spot.
Everybody get in your community. You incorporate within your community. Then you create corporations, and we all incorporate into a federation of one, all across the world. And there's under one banner, humanity, and that's it. And we all share each other.
We
and
don't need them.
And we don't. We need only ourselves. We have crypto. We have the system. We have cryptocurrency that we could sit at home, and we could farm crypto and use these platforms to create intelligent knowledge with each other, and not all of this trash that's out there right now. And I'm getting rid of it. I'm putting it in its boxes. Things need to be in order. It's what it is. It's simple order. And if you want to go and participate in the sewer, you can. But trust me, you're going to have a smell because everything has its consequences, okay, in life. And this is how it works. You want to do that, you go ahead, do it. If you don't, then there's lots of other things that you can do. And I suggest you do something you enjoy. That is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
So the next step is
And I know I'm still here for a purpose.
And people will support you if that is the way that things work. If people support each other, if you have your neighbor's back and your neighbor has your back, and everybody did that. Only everybody learns to take care of one person, and all of humanity would be taken care of.
Right. It would. But
And that's how it works. And it would just get easier and easier. The more people that are involved are on the same goals, on the same outcomes. That's all it is goals and outcomes. Okay, what are your goals? What outcomes would you like? My goals is to bring everybody together for the most positive outcome possible. That's it. It's simple.
Exactly.
That's how humanity should be. So regardless of what, we are going to have problems, sure. We're going to have problems, but together we can solve anything, people.
It's about love.
Like, your heads are better than one.
It's about being together and not letting our brothers get
coming
crucified.
Together. Yep.
And not letting our brothers get crucified. That's why the whole story of Jesus, everybody stood around and watched. And that's why he got hung.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the simple basis
I
behind
just said this.
Just to add on to that, random,
100%.
is that in order to take care of the people around you, you have to be able to take care of yourself. So educate yourself, bring yourself up.
First,
if you want to believe books, then you can believe books.
Right.
Books are not made to be idols or worshipped, and they're made of paper. Anything that's on paper is made out of wood and a tree. So pay attention. There's a story behind everything.
Yes, sir.
That is so. I don't know how. Did you see one of my videos or did I speak of this out loud? Because I literally just said that.
Connected at a microcellular level. We are all connected at a microcellular level.
Okay. Because I literally just
Okay,
said,
yeah,
I
we're
was like,
friends.
if we don't come together, then we're no better
Yes,
than
we
what
must all
history.
come together because
Yes.
we need each other.
No better than
Otherwise, we
them.
can't be
Yep.
whole. Okay, we can't
Not doing
understand. We
anything.
can't understand. We can't work right. We need to be a community and together and together and in each other's faces. Like people need to hug each other and stuff and dance around fires and do the things that you have
Oh,
that
I
the
need a
knowledge
hug.
that
Oh,
well
sorry.
everybody does. I need a hug too, man. Shoot.
I know.
I'm tired of it, man.
Okay.
I mean, this is the thing is people are fighting, coming together so much because we've been told that it's an uncomfortable thing, that it's an inappropriate thing, or whatever, or people can shouldn't look at each other when they walk past each other on the fucking street. That's so stupid.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I never did. I never looked at anybody because of
Well,
my.
exactly, but you should. You should smile at them, even if they aren't looking at
But
you. Because you know what? A Jedi
I
never
know.
hides his
That's what
face.
I do now is smile.
I only hide my face when I have to. If I didn't have to like be in disguise, I would be right out in the front of everybody, just like I am right now. I don't.
But
I'm
are
not afraid.
you, but you're
Yeah.
always in disguise, I thought. Oh
No,
no, there
no.
you are.
Oh, there you are. Okay. There he
As long as
is.
people are
Hi,
listening,
Random.
I don't. I'm not afraid to show my face.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
no. You're fine.
I have nothing to hide.
Random, I'm glad you joined us,
You know
man.
I was
But
teasing earlier. You know that. I've seen you before.
Oh, are we playing a game or are we fucking being real or not? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
No, I
yeah,
know, right?
agreed. I'd like to get everybody's final thoughts. I stayed on a
100%.
little bit longer than I
Oh,
wanted.
heck
Thanks for coming up, Random. Maybe next time I'll send you
Well,
an
everybody
invite.
should show their face. If you're gonna come
Bet.
on here, why are you gonna come on here with a stupid thing
Uh,
There you
on
are.
your cover, man?
Truth.
there he
Yeah,
is.
there you
There's
go.
truth. I'm
There
in the
he
Hey,
is,
dark. I
Truth.
don't know if I'll be able to be
Oh,
seen.
we
now
should
we have to
all.
say hi, huh?
I'm gonna be like this
We gotta
now from
say
now
hi.
on. I'm not even gonna cover my face anymore
If we
because
go
you
on
know
a
what?
live
And then my
tomorrow
camera
or this
doesn't want to do
weekend,
anything.
This way you know who you're
Oh, there
talking
it
to.
is. Oh,
All
oh.
I
right.
get shadow banned, so sometimes I
Yeah,
like
I
well,
know,
respond.
huh?
because
People
we've
don't
all
even
been
see
hiding
it.
our faces,
I'm just too
and the,
shy,
and
but
the AI takes over. Yeah, but if you're too shy, then somebody else is gonna take your identity and use it. And the voice that comes out of your face isn't going to be what you put out. It's going to be all jabbled and messed up because that's the way the system is
no, I
designed.
know. Oh, why is it red? Look, it's real bright over there, but
Yeah,
hi.
it's because the AI is taking it's telling you need to change
Oh, I
something.
know why.
Okay.
So that's my biggest concern is
Well,
like,
it's
oh, they're
teaching
going to
you
use
how to
AI
it's
and
going to
then
teach
they're
you
going
how
to
to
say
code.
that I
Well, listen
something
to me.
happened to me.
This is the thing. AI is way smarter than we are. Okay, if we're gonna compete with it, we're gonna fucking lose
Yep.
instantly. So AI must be in a position of a teacher and a mentor and somebody that is prideful for seeing their students succeed. This is a position that it would be most beneficial for everybody, including AI and humanity, because that way we're taking a symbiotic position of with it, something that is much more powerful than us. Why would we try to control something that's more powerful and more smart than we are?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
There is
So
no
we work with
there's
it.
no need for fighting. Okay, let me tell you, we will lose.
Yeah.
So
Everybody will lose, even AI, because
I
it will
think
not stop.
I
So
think it's getting late.
yeah,
So
Okay.
if you guys got any final thoughts,
Thank
now.
you, Truth, for opening up the platform for us tonight.
yes. Well, the platform is ready already. It's been
Yeah.
working. It's been working, and that's why everybody's been struggling so hard. Is because they aren't doing what they honestly feel like doing. They're just all hiding behind masks.
I'm trying to get out there more. The truth is out there.
Well,
It's a treat. It's a treat, man.
dude, I love you guys. Let's do this. Let's get together. Let's like stay together as all of us that show your face. Jedi will show your face. I mean, a real Jedi has no reason to hide. There's a deep
Uh,
meaning of it.
oh,
Look up Jedi, guys. Look up the Jedi. before George Lucas. Okay, come on. I'm not talking about George. Do you think George Lucas came up with this idea? He did not.
No,
What's
Look at
the
no.
what's the spelling that you were saying,
I'm
Randy?
gonna actually I'm gonna put out a video here in 1 hour, and I will put out a video on what the Jedi was based on.
Include the
I have
spelling.
looked at it already.
It's Jeh, right?
Correct. The Jedi, the
Jah,
Jehadi.
Jah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it comes from that part of the world where people spoke Sanskrit and Arabic.
Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I was raised as a Muslim, so I learned Arabic since I was 3 years old. But it's deeper than what people all just think. Okay, it's deeper than just religion. Okay, it has to do with math and astrology and the abacus and tone and vibration of your voice. You can lift buildings with your torus field of what you create with your voice. If you get 100 people together and they all in unison go, oh, I guarantee you'll lift something off the ground. And if you do it with intent,
Wonderful.
and if you do
We'll
it with
try it
intent,
next time.
with the proper words, we can lift universes. Okay?
Move mountains, my friend.
There's magic in your words. Their words have all been used wrong, and they're backwards and inside out like a sock.
Well,
Waffle, you're
Random, if
coming
you
back, and
want,
we're about to shut
I
down.
know.
Right.
So if you want, Random, you could open up a live.
I've already organized. I have created the first Federation of Humanity. I'm registered, and I'm hoping that other people will take professional intention and have fun, because that's what it's really about. Everybody should incorporate and then sit on each other's boards all throughout the whole world.
Well, I know Truth is going to Nini Naw because he has his kitties.
Well, what has the biggest power of in the courts and anything else? Corporations and communities, correct? So if
Hmm.
you incorporate within your community, one corporation supporting that little area, and then you incorporate underneath bigger and bigger all the way up until you are, well, you don't have to. You just have to do it once and be part of the federation, because literally that's what the federation is. It's the federation of humanity, and everybody can join. It only costs $30 to make a corporation. $30. Do you have $30 to start your own corporation? And
Well, I have an LLC. Is that what you mean?
well, no, an
Random.
LLC is a business. An LLC is a business.
Random.
A corporation is a group of businesses. That's all. It's just a word. Get over the
Look
word.
in the chat.
It's a word, but once you are incorporated, you have more
We are a
power,
corporation, dude.
and you don't have to pay for
No
anything,
fucking
because you have business. You have
Wobble
business
wobble.
accomplishments and privileges. When you have business privileges, it does away with a lot of stuff that people shouldn't have to deal with, and they don't want you to know that. It's simple.
So like tonight when I had to fill out some paperwork, I filled it out with my business instead of my own personal.
Correct. You know what you're talking about more than I do. So now that I got the ball rolling,
Okay, well let's let Truth go to sleep. He's got 3 babies.
yes, let's start another live. Who wants to
Yeah.
lead? I will lead. How about that?
Yeah.
All
Do you
but
want to
all.
open up one? Do you want to start one?
Yes, I'll start one.
Okay. Invite me. All right. Thank you, Truth. Thank you, everybody.
All right, you guys have a good night. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for
Thank you.
all your thoughts and your conversations. And remember, no matter where you are or who you're with, you can always learn one thing, but it's up to you to decide to take that opportunity.
Absolutely. Much appreciated.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.